Riverside has won the toss and selected the third.
Riverside and Long Beach has been one of California's longest-standing rivalries, dating back nearly 50 years when both football programs were just underway. The Tigers dismantled Long Beach 51-14 in the most recent meeting at Wheelock Stadium, Week 9 of 2017. This go-around, the Vikings have a revamped offense with the league's leading passer at 9 touchdowns on the year. Former conference foes and longtime rivals number 13 Long Beach and number 4 Riverside meet again at Veterans Memorial Stadium in Long Beach, California. Glad you're with us. Nick Rice on hand. Tigers football, the national sports, Spreaker.com. As the Tigers, fresh off the win in convincing fashion over San Bernardino Valley just 7 days ago, hit the road again to this time tangle with the Vikings, a former conference foe, a team that has consistently been talked about as winning the National Central League, and the Long Beach Vikings. Those Tigers in the all-whites, orange numbers, black trim, they have elected to defer their coin toss option to the second half. As the Vikings will receive to start the contest, they'll bring back a couple of dangerous return men who stand in the end zone. Kalen Simmons will line up left side for the Vikings. And over right is Pierre Robinson, the freshman from Paramount. Glad you're with us. Riverside at 2-1. Long Beach at 2-1. As the Vikings themselves are off a home win, a 54-24 beatdown of Los Angeles Valley. John Garibay, the star sophomore kickoff man, place kicker, and even punter for the Tigers, by way of Rubidoux, California, tees up the football and approaches 7 yards away to get Week 4 started in the SCFA. He runs into it, and the number 4 Tigers kick off the ball game on a wobbling boot that soars past Robinson for a touchback. And Long Beach will set up shop at their own 25-yard line. The Vikings, 10th in the state in scoring at 43 points per game, an explosive offense led by the head coach's son in Drake Peabody. The Vikings, led by their quarterback, will take the field at the 25-yard line. This year, 55% completions, but second of the conference in passing with 9 touchdowns through the air. That is number 1 in the league. He also has 3 touchdown runs, a dangerous dual threat. He'll line up all alone in the backfield against the Tiger Dollar. It's 5 eligibles in the formation as Peabody takes the belt eye snap, looking left, throwing a slant. The pass is dropped by Raphael Jones, jarred loose quickly by Kobe Fitzgerald. As the freshman from Anaheim did have a beat on it and could have picked off the first pass for the Viking QB, Drake Peabody. The son of the head coach, Brett Peabody, who's in his 6th year with the program and has turned around Long Beach City, going 4-6 his first year and then winning 3 consecutive co-conference championships over the last 3 years. Motioning Pierre Robinson from left slot into the backfield right side is Peabody. He fakes it to him, scrambles right, turning 25, runs into his blocker, and motors ahead, crawling in space down to the 31-yard line. A 6-yard scamper outside the right hash for Drake Peabody, the redshirt freshman from Torrance. 3rd and 4 for Long Beach. The Vikings had a star performance on 3rd down last week, 8 of 15, but otherwise they just can't seem to move the chains on critical 3rd downs. 4th in the conference in that note this year. 4 receivers. They'll single up Milshawn Lathan right-hand side, watched over tight by Eric Wilson. Belt eye snap. Peabody stands with time, flips it over the middle. The pass caught by the crossing Lee, and he takes a tumble to the 46. 10-yard completion. Victor Viramontes the tackle as the Vikings move up on the ball quickly. Just about a minute in opening quarter, no score. Long Beach from their own 25 out to the 46 in just 3 plays. Lee left slot. They'll line up with a loose set over right side. Belt eye snap. Peabody again looking left. He fires down the field and finds the open Latham, who slipped a tackle to 50, then is tripped up out of bounds by Fitzgerald. I know it looks like Aaron Mannery rather made the tackle at the 43. This Tiger secondary has struggled mightily this year. They just can't seem to stop any quarterback in 2018. They've given up 314 yards per game passing, and it's another fresh set of downs for the Vikings at the RCC 44 left hash. Press coverage, but they'll go with the play action. Here scrambling right past Ramirez is Peabody, and he slides down back of the line as Mannery converged with Viramontes of the tackle. 2nd and 10. Just about 2 minutes in opening quarter. Glad you're with us. Nick Rice on hand from beautiful Veterans Memorial Stadium in 80-degree temperatures at Long Beach, California, just off the coast. about 10 miles north of the city of Long Beach. It's in Lakewood. 3 receivers in the set. Vikings at the 44-yard line of Riverside. Tigers bringing 7 men in the box as they creep up Terry Victor, the freshman linebacker, a Washington State transfer from Los Angeles. Peabody feeds to Raphael Jones, and he is stacked up by Fitzgerald and dropped to the 42. Just a 2-yard run. The Tigers have done a good job stopping the ground game this year, as they ranked 4th in the conference in that category, but they are dead last in the league in defending the pass, and especially on third downs where it reared their ugly head. And the Week 2 Tiger loss to Fullerton 34-33. They look to turn that around here in this Week 4 clash against Long Beach, a top 15 matchup between LBCC and RCC. At the 42, here's Peabody, the shotgun, a 5-step drop, pressured from behind, spins out of traffic and will run, keeps to the 40, veers towards the sideline, left boundary at the 35. He runs out at the 32 as Peabody converts on a run of 10. He has been a deceptive runner out of the National Northern Conference. 3.5 yards a carry and 3 rushing scores this year for Peabody. The Vikings 2 for 2 on third downs to start, led by their star redshirt freshman quarterback, and Peabody by way of Torrance. Pierre Robinson flanks him right as the Vikings are back up on the ball. 3 minutes in opening quarter, no score on the first Long Beach drive of the game. Here's Robinson, who runs over right tackle and is stopped by Viramontes. It's a gain of 3. The linebacker for the Tigers, Victor Viramontes, played quarterback and All-State QB as well for the Tigers last year. After transferring over from Cal, he moved from the University of Minnesota following this past offseason to linebacker, and it does bode well for the sophomore. From the 29, Vikings face second and 7. Lathan and Lee spread right side with 2 wideouts left, and Jonathan Bonds and Devon Rouse, the freshman from Garden Grove, as the Vikings are knocking on the door at the 29-yard line of the Tigers. RCC bringing 4 men, and now a 5th is coming late, and down goes Peabody, sacked by Kobe Fitzgerald. It's his 2nd sack of the year. And a loss of 6 against the quarterback Peabody, and that'll push back Long Beach, which had been rolling on offense. It's their first lost yardage of the ball game. It's down to a 3rd and 13. Long Beach at the Riverside 35-yard line, a bit long for a field goal for their kicker and Augustin Delgadillo. This would be about a 10-yard gap between a season long and this yardage here. As the Tigers line up nickel, Lathan singled up right side, 3 wide left. Long Beach to throw. Peabody dropping 5 steps, pressured. He flushed the pocket right, being chased from behind. He's hit as he throws, and the pass sails out of bounds. Agood provide the pressure to the sophomore. And the Vikings, after a very promising start to the possession, they move from their own 25 to as close as the Tiger 29, but Long Beach stalls. And the Vikings will bring out the special teams group. It appears the punt unit is out there as Tanner Carcamo checks in the ball game. The sophomore from San Pedro, California. He has seen his punt average dip from a year ago. He looks to pin this one inside the 10-yard line. He's done it twice this year. Standing back at that 10 for the Tigers is DeQuante Showers, a dangerous punt returner. The high snap, Carcamo sends a wobbling punt. It is definitely short. Showers runs away from the ball as it bounces and rolls to the 17. Just an 18-yard punt from Tanner Carcamo, and through 4.5 minutes, no score, the Tigers will have their first possession inside their own 20. An RCC offense, 5th in the state, averaging 48 points per game this year. This offense has been explosive. They had a season-high 77 points in their blowout win just 7 days ago at San Bernardino Valley. 3 receivers, Tigers up on the ball. They'll mark it at the 17 left hash. Shotgun snap Smart, feeds left. Here is the sweeping Wimbish, dances in the lane of the 20, and is stacked up just short of the 25. Tackled by Keiz Hayashi, the freshman defensive end from Tokyo, Japan, as he was one of the Vikings on the stop off the gain of 4, and they'll mark it up to about 6. As the Tigers are up on the ball quickly. 9:54 to go opening quarter. The Vikings moved the chains, 2 third-down conversions on a wonderful march of 46 yards, but had to punt. Off the play action, Smart flips it short, hitch route over to Marshall, makes a move, picks up the first down, straight arm 30, and Marshall is run out by Blake Jenkins at the 37. Right, for the dangerous Tyrone Marshall, 11 yards there. The sophomore was a kickoff return specialist last year, and go figure, not much of a wideout in 2017. He leads the team in catches in 2018. Smart takes the shotgun snap, feeds it again. Here's Wimbish, who has been notched the start for the first time of the season, and he is tackled by Bias at the 42. Typically, Malik Walker notches the start there and leads things off. The bell cow from Corona, 6.5 yards a carry for Malik Walker this year. But Wimbish, a very serviceable backup, he averaged 6 yards a carry himself last year, about 5 this season. He has gotten a couple carries to start off the ball game. At the 42, referees resume play off the 5-yard gain from Wimbish, and he'll be replaced quickly by Dunmar Fisher. No sign of Walker yet, as the Tigers going left to right are at their own 42 against the Viking blitz. Smart is back, guns it down the left sideline. Marshall in space couldn't make the catch as it was a bit too tall, with Poyer on the coverage. Cross Poyer, former linebacker, moving over to corner there for Long Beach. A member of St. John Bosco High School in Bellflower, a 2-star, but playing more like a 5-star for the Vikings this year. 13 tackles, 1 for loss, and 5 deflections to lead the team in 2018. Crowd chanting for the defense on the opening 3rd down try of the ball game. And now the officials will stop play at the moment. 9:09 to go here, opening quarter, as there was talks about a penalty which was declined by Long Beach. At least that is what the early indications are.
Correction, the penalty has been declined. 3rd down.
Yes, penalty declined. Again, thank you for joining us. Tigers football, the national sports, Spreaker.com. RCC brings in number 8, Antonio Mitchell, a redshirt freshman by way of Murrieta, California. He'll be one of 4 wide and a 2x2 at the 42-yard line right hash. 3rd and 5 for the Tigers. Chest high snap, Smart stands in, throws it right. It's caught by Stovall at the 50. He gets lassoed down by the jersey and dropped by Jeremiah Houston at the Viking 39-yard line. The Cal transfer Melqui Stovall has been a downfield threat at all of 5'9", 190 from Lancaster, and he'll be solid up right, watched over by Houston again. But the Tigers are at the Viking end of the field for the first time today. Stretch run here is Dunmar Fisher on a sweep, and he is tackled at the 35 as Houston upends the runner off the gain of 3. The redshirt freshman from Moreno Valley, California, one of 5 different capable runners in that loaded Tiger backfield. Glad you're with us. Opening quarter halfway through here from Veterans Memorial Stadium and your sellout crowd of Long Beach. The Tigers up on the ball at the 35-yard line. It's a run to Fisher again, finds a seam, 30, and he motors to the 23-yard line. Jenkins, one of the Vikings on the stop, and the Tigers run up on the ball quickly. A breakneck offensive pace Riverside loves to employ, and the Viking defense is gassed. RCC from their own 17-yard line with relative ease, only 1 3rd down attempt. They have marched to the Long Beach 24. And it'll be on the right hash. Malik Walker's checked in at tailback for the first time today. He's in the block off a 2x2. Smart looks deep. He'll tuck, fakes the shovel, scampers 20, gets by Jenkins to the 10, gallops to the 5, and Stone Smart is in the end zone. Touchdown, Tigers.
Stone Smart elects to keep the ball there, and he runs it in for a Tigers touchdown.
Stone Smart scores his first rushing score since the opener, and the Tigers march 83 yards, led by their terrific quarterback, a transfer from Northern Arizona, and off the good hold by way of Kettle. The extra point is good by Garibay, and the Tigers score the opening points here from Veterans Memorial Stadium. He missed it. Sorry, Garibay did miss the extra point. It's his 3rd missed PAT of the year, more than he had all of 2017. And the score remains 6-0 RCC. Nick Rice in hand, Tigers football on the national sports, Spreaker.com. So the Tigers dismantled Long Beach last year, 51-14. And that was a game, even though the Tigers lost the season finale the next week at Mount San Antonio, Riverside, because of that win, and as convincing as they had it, wound up winning a co-championship along with Long Beach and Mount Sac the National Central Conference. By way of non-conference tiebreakers, they were the ones that represented the league in the postseason. As Garabay's kickoff is taken in the end zone by Robinson, 3 yards deep. He brings it out right numbers 10, cuts to the left, and is drilled at the 15-yard line. What a hit by Kua Olatoa, the freshman from Anaheim, who makes the special team stop, and now the Vikings have a long field. They'll mark him back, it appears, near the 14-yard line with 7:47 left to go in the opening frame. So that Tiger win, 51-14 over Long Beach, that was the game that really gave the Tigers a statement. 9-0 start to the year, that was their 9th game. And for Riverside, that wound up being the real pinnacle of the year. Since that game, they lost 2 of their final 3, including the SCFA Championship against Fullerton. But that Long Beach game wound up determining their playoff hopes. This one could as well. Deep drop Peabody. He's pressured by Figueroa. Hit as he throws. The pass wobbles short and incomplete. Intended to the crossing Milshawn Lathan, but Figueroa gave Peabody a shot. As the sophomore defensive end, already with 3 sacks this year, this is one of the league's best pass rushing teams. He nearly got there again for Riverside. Long Beach had a promising opening drive, but stalled at the Tiger 29, or they were forced to punt. And Kokomo didn't get very much leg on the previous boots. Peabody the shotgun with 4 receivers. Aaron Mannery watches over Victor Bates in a good matchup, split far left. Inside run Robinson, squirts over right guard by the Raphael Jones. And Olatoa is one of the Tigers on the stop, a gain of 4. For Raphael Jones, freshman from Santa Ana. Nick Rice on hand, Tigers football, the national sports, Spreaker.com. RCC plays one of the best defenses in the country next week in San Diego Mesa. The Olympians rank 22 in the state right now. But first they've got the Vikings, well, more explosive offense than close to any team in the country. Deep drop for Peabody, a rush of 4. He unloads over the middle, wobbling pass is long. And over the reach of Rouse that time on a seam routes. And the Vikings go 3 and outs. That was a 3rd and 7 try that was well beyond the reach of Rouse. The Tiger defense makes an important stand midway through the first quarter. 7:04 to go in the opening frame. Vikings will bring out the punt unit. Kokomo had just an 18-yard boot on the first try. With DeQuanche Showers standing back at the 50, he hopes he can get a beat on it this go-around as Kokomo stands at his own 4 to punt. He belts it away. It is wobbling end over end, taken by Showers, chest high at the 46, dances 50 with a flag down, and is lassoed down over at the Viking 46, a return of 8. Raphael Jones and Justin Almond combine on the Long Beach tackle. And with the flag down, the officials will sort this one out. Just the second penalty of the ball game with 6:53 to play in the opening frame. Here's the call.
Illegal block in the back. Number 4 in the third game. 10-yard penalty. First down.
The penalty against Terry Victor, the freshman from Los Angeles, who is the guilty party. Victor, a 3-star linebacker coming out of L.A. and committed to Washington State just earlier this year, but decided to bounce back to the Tigers and is part of a loaded linebacking core. Victor Viramontes, Mitchell Agood, and Devin Charles are the starters, but Victor's the next one in line. 3 receivers for the Tigers. Their second drive beginning with a gut run to Walker, and from the 40, he surges ahead for 3 over the right guard. Blake Jenkins, the tackle. He has been busy today, freshman from Corona, after the 4-yard pickup. Long Beach, similar to the Tigers, their defense has been relatively lackluster this year. They are dead last in scoring defense and dead last in pass defense out of the National Northern Conference. So they simply haven't had much rhythm in that secondary this year. And with the Tigers holding the lead, they may want to run the ball to get the RCC line some push. It's another run, sweeping right side. Walker falls his blocks, hesitance past the tight end that time to the 48-yard line. That was Kane Villemue, who paved the way, springing loose Walker, and he moves the chains for Riverside. All right, thus far, the opening quarter, the Tigers have won the battle at the point of attack, and simply for this Long Beach defense, they have had very little resistance this year against opposing teams. pistol snap, a run to Wimbish over left guard, and he is smothered at the 48-yard line and dropped off the 1-yard gain. The tackle made for Long Beach by Divine Obichare. Vikings back on the road following 2 straight at home next week when they conclude non-conference play against the Falcons of number 7 Cerritos. Cerritos arguably is the surprise out of the SCFA as they are yet again in the mix for a playoff spot, but this time put in a very good position. Cerritos at 3-0 this year may end up getting to the postseason for the first time in a while. Stone Smart, the NAU transfer, fires over the middle. The pass behind his target and is incomplete. Knocked away late by DeAndre Johnson, as he certainly, it appeared to me, ripped away the football, that time from Tyrone Marshall.
The pass is ruled incomplete.
And now RCC faces a 3rd and 9. Nick Rice on hand, Tigers football at the nationalsportsfreaker.com. 5:18 to go opening quarter. The Tigers lead 6-0 off the 83-yard scoring drive, capped off on the run from Stone Smart, the quarterback, who will yet again line up with a shotgun set, a wide 2x2. And with early movement, this play will come to an end. Most likely an encroachment penalty against Long Beach. The officials confer. The head official for tonight's contest is David Batista. Officials still talking about it. The umpire, Jeremy Jones, is also in there talking things over as the Vikings bring in substitutions. They'll check in Noah Bias, a star freshman from Gardena. Tigers bringing in some subs as well. Here is the call.
Offside. Defense, number 45. 5-yard penalty.
King Maile was the one who jumped early for Long Beach. Tigers were hoping to get a free play out of it, but instead they'll set up with a 3rd and short. Beckford joins Tyler Kennedy over left side with Melqui Stovall to the right. On a 3rd down and 4 to go, RCC needs the Long Beach 38-yard line. They are perfect, going 2 for 2 so far, converting 3rd downs. Crowd chants for the defense. Under 5 to play first quarter. Tigers with the ball. They lead 6-0. Shotgun snap, a run to Fisher. He's got a good hole and slides to the 36. It appeared Fisher lost his footing there with Poyer involved near the stop, but he just gains enough, does Dunmar Fisher. A redshirt freshman from Moreno Valley, California, 5'8", 200 pounds, and he has been a bit of a bell cow so far for the Tigers of the ballgame. Villemue, the tight end, Stovall, Marshall, Kennedy, and also Beckford are the 4 receivers in a wide 2x2. 5 eligibles in this empty formation for the Tigers. Beldai snaps Smart with a quick bootleg right, scrambles over left, gets by one man, dances in the lane, and is tripped up with a 36-yard line as Obichare joins Jack Genova. The 2 Vikings were there converging on a run for no gain for Stone Smart, who scored the only points of the ball game on a 24-yard touchdown run earlier in this quarter. 4 minutes to play, first frame. The Tigers bring out Kane Villemue, the tight end, a sophomore from Oahu, Hawaii, one of many different out-of-state players. In fact, just about half of the Tiger roster is out of the state of California. So this Riverside City College football team is more of a national brand than close to any other club in the country. Wide 2x2 on a 2nd and 10. Here's Wimbish, who's loose. 30, 25, 20, and he bowls over a defender down to the 19-yard line. Quincy Wimbish running over Blake Jenkins. Gets a huge run of 16 yards and a Tiger first down. RCC with an 83-yard drive on the previous possession. Here they have moved from their own 40 down to the Long Beach 19-yard line. Vikings are reeling on defense and can't seem to stop the Tigers on critical 3rd downs. Wide 2x2, but they yet again spread it out for a run for Wimbish. He's straight ahead, spins over right tackle now, and he cuts with Kay Kanashire on the stop for just a 1-yard gain. All right, this Tiger run game has been sensational this year. It was great last season with Viramonta struggling with the deep throws, but now Stone Smart has led the way for the 4th best run team in the state of California. Wide 2x2 off the right hash, Smart off the play action. He's looking end zone. His pass knocked in the air and is incomplete. as Divine Obishare got his mid on it, did the defensive tackle from Los Angeles, his first deflection of the year. And it sets up a 3rd and 9 at the Long Beach 18-yard line. Tigers 3 for 3 on third down tries so far in the ball game. 2:43 to go opening quarter. It's a 6-0 lead for RCC. Vikings twist defensively as he sets up a tunnel screen. Wimbish has got it to the 15 and takes a tumble to the 10-yard line. This would be close as Genova tripped up Wimbish there. The officials appear to mark him right around the 11-yard line, which would be shorts. Very critical ball spot here. They push it back actually to the 12. All right, that appeared a full yard just in front of the marker, but they marked him about 1.5 yards short. The Tigers are bringing in some substitutions. It appears RCC is going to go for it with their stud linebacker, Victor Viramontes, to lead the way. There is some experience from Viramontes at the quarterback spot as a timeout is called with 2 minutes to go first quarter. There is some experience with Victor Viramontes that you just typically don't get at the SCFA level as he transitioned from quarterback to linebacker last season, passing for 1,868 yards, running for another 1,300. He was an all-state quarterback, and moreover, he was the leader of the football team down the stretch of 2017. Viramontes, he is calm and collected. Why he has Division I offers from seemingly everywhere has a lot to do with his character and his personality on and off the field. Victor Viramontes, he may be the one to go to on a 4th and short for Riverside, as at the 12 of Long Beach, they need the Viking 10. A top 15 matchup. It's a critical spot. A 6-0 lead for the Tigers, and here's a chance for them to punch it in and add to their lead. It should be noted, Riverside second in the state in red zone touchdowns with 13. Wildcat formation. The Tigers tight motion over right side for Mannery as Viramontes on a 4th down takes the ball, snap, scrambles right with some good blocks. Viramontes is gone. Touchdown Tigers. From 12 yards out, the sophomore from Norco, Victor Viramontes, scrambles in, and Riverside has taken a 12-0 lead. Garibay just seems to be battling some PAT demons. He will be on the field to attempt the extra points out of the hold from Garrett Kettle. It'll be snapped back by Eric Matute, the freshman from Rancho Cucamonga, who has been strong in the special team department this year. Good hold from Kettle, and that extra point is good this time as the Tigers have taken a 13-0 lead. Stone Smart ran in for the first score, and the former quarterback of a year ago, Victor Viramontes, scrambles in from 12 yards out, and now the Tigers lead 13-0. Long Beach, number 13 of the country. Ironically, off of the win over Los Angeles Valley, they dropped 3 spots in the rankings, and maybe the Coach's Bowl was onto something because right now the Vikings appear shell-shocked as they have been not very competitive on defense. Tigers with scoring drives to start off the ball game. Their first 2 possessions go 83 yards and 60 yards. The latter off the Viramontes TD on 4th and shorts gives RCC the 13-0 lead. And now Garibay tees it up. The run up from 7 yards out for the sophomore from Rubidoux as he lowers the hand, and the kickoff is in the air. It is towards the sideline, and Garibay's kick will be taken 6 yards deep and down by Robinson for a touchback. Tigers dismantled El Camino and Torrance in the season opener, but in week 2 against the number 1 Fullerton Hornets, this Tigers club was chasing a missed PAT in the third quarter from Garibay and wound up losing the ball game in a very competitive matchup, 34-33 at home. You hope for the Tigers that PAT and the loss will not haunt their year, as the Tigers now are a game back of Fullerton and even conference foe Southwestern in the SCFA. Long Beach from their own 25-yard line, direct snap Peabody. The quarterback scrambles over left guard, and Olatoa brings him down to the 33. It's a gain of 8 yards on the quarterback scamper. Right now, as we look at the national Southern Conference, which is where the Tigers are in right now. The Jaguars of Southwestern, who play Fullerton at home at 6 p.m. is the Pacific time kickoff. That is in about 30 minutes. They lead the conference at 3-0. Tigers are 2-1. Golden West at 1-2. They currently have a lead over Bakersfield midway fourth quarter, 13-9. Vikings back on the ball. It's a sweeping run right, and Robinson moves the chains. Christian Swint escorts him out of the 41-yard line. As the Tigers lead 13-0, a minute to go in the first quarter. Then to conclude the conference, number 20 Saddleback is at 1-2, Orange Coast 1-2, and Grossmont is 0-3 right now. And they've got a road contest against number 22 San Diego Mesa tonight, so Grossmont very easily could start the year 0-4. And the Griffins will be the conference opener for the Tigers in Wheelock Stadium on October the 13th. 3 receivers of the set for Long Beach. They'll go with a sweeping run. Here's Robinson, who cuts it back to the 50, and Pierre Robinson takes a tumble to the 43-yard line of Riverside. Olatoa, one of the Tigers, on the tackle as Long Beach, for just the second possession in this quarter, 41 seconds to go opening frame. They have the ball in RCC territory. At the 43-yard line near the right hash, they'll line up 4 receivers. Chris Brown, the tight end, right in an empty formation. Peabody takes the snap. Design quarterback run. He gets by Ramirez and dances to the 42 on over right tackle for a yard. As Drake Peabody has been a run-first QB in this opening frame, as he has scampered in already for near a touchdown in the first frame. He is averaging so far today about 3 yards a carry. The quarterback from Torrance, California. He was unranked out of West Torrance High School, but is playing like a man who deserves a D1 scholarship. 2 seconds, 1, and right at the first quarter expiration, the snap is back, but they will signal the end of the first quarter here from Veterans Memorial Stadium in Long Beach, California. We have played 15 quick minutes, and the Tigers, off touchdown scampers from both quarterbacks, Stone Smart and Victor Viramontes, they lead the struggling Vikings 13-0. Back in a moment. This is Tigers football on the National Sports, Spreaker.com.
Taking a family of 5 to the amusement park can cost a small fortune.
Oh, yeah. So to save some money, we thought, hey, let's bring the amusement park to us.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
All right. Step right up, young man. Are you ready to ride the Wacky Waterfall?
That's just the bathtub with the shower head running.
Nope, it's the Wacky Waterfall.
It's a shower, Dad.
Waterfall.
Wacky.
There's an easier way to save. To get a free rate quote, go to geico.com, then buy online, over the phone, or at your local Geico office.
Welcome back, Tigers football, the National Sports, Spreaker.com. Nick Rice on hand. And what has had the buildup of a very good matchup between number 13 Long Beach and number 4 Riverside. But thus far, the Tiger defense has played better than the Week 3 matchup against San Bernardino Valley. They were so bad, quarterback Armando Herrera, who is certainly one of the best quarterbacks in the country right now, and especially in the Triple CAA, he threw for an average of 21.5 yards per completion against this Riverside defense. He torched the Tigers 18-32, 387 yards and 3 touchdowns, a 98-yard long as well. It was an exhibition for Armando Herrera of the San Bernardino Wolverines. Quick flip over the middle. He finds the crossing Bonds, who spins to the 26. Victor makes the tackle, the freshman from Los Angeles, and the Vikings move the chains to open the second quarter. 13-0 Tigers. The aforementioned struggling RCC secondary. They look to get some mojo going as the quarterback, Drake Peabody, in that first quarter threw for just short of 100 yards in the first 15 minutes. 4 receivers. We have Milshon Lathan of the Vikings singled up right, watched over tight on press coverage that side by Victor. Tigers line up in a dime package as they've got a 4-man front. They'll bring in 5 on an overload blitz, speed option toss. Robinson is in trouble, and he gets by 1, but Fitzgerald spins him down for a loss. Zachariah Hollifield finished off the play as Robinson is tackled for a 1-yard loss that time. They'll push him actually 2 yards in the backfield to set up 2nd and 12. All right, Long Beach, a minute in, second quarter, advancing with these, led by Drake Peabody, the quarterback. He's just a couple games removed from a dreadful effort against Mount San Antonio. 44% completions and 4 interceptions in that loss to the Mounties. But since he has come alive in the Long Beach quarterback spot from the 29-yard line, deep drop Peabody, pressure to the corners, flips it late left. Robinson makes the catch and is nailed by Kua Olafoa at the 28. Just a 1-yard gain as the corner, freshman from Anaheim, has done very well with the Long Beach offense. Just underway here, second quarter, Veterans Memorial Stadium. Tonight's broadcast presented by In-N-Out. With our compliments, it's In-N-Out Burgers. In-N-Out. Long Beach back on the ball at the 28-yard line, facing a third down and long as the Vikings come in this contest as one of the premier third down teams in the country. But Riverside has been equally as good in defending that third down. Deep drop Peabody, he's pressured, evades one sack, but then is tackled back by Jose Ramirez. He shook the pressure initially, and it appeared he was off and running, but it was chased down late by Jose Ramirez, the freshman from Auburndale, with his second sack of the year. And the Vikings, after another promising drive, loss of 7 on third down, will push them out of field goal range again. RCC leads 13-0, 2 minutes in second quarter. Touchdown runs from 24 yards from Stone Smart and 12 yards on a fourth down from Victor Viramontes have been the touchdowns by way of RCC so far today. Carcamo to punt again. It's his third trip out there, averaging less than 30 yards of boots. He sends it away, hoping for a coffin corner, wobbling end over end. The return man lets it go to Showers, and the ball is tapped into the end zone by way of Cross Poyer. Just a 15-yard punt. That has been the story tonight for Tanner Carcamo, the sophomore from San Pedro. But we do have a penalty flag down. Nick Rice on hand. Tigers football on the National Sports, Spreaker.com. The officials led by head man David Batista, talking things over with his line judge, Jonathan Jones. As the Tigers, it appears, may start off with their own 20-yard line, but they're sorting out a flag that was thrown before the release of the punt from Carcamo. So this could very easily be against Long Beach. Long talk over with the officials right now. All right, here it is. Officials are trying to get some on-air time here.
The back, linebacker back number 45 of the receiving team. There'll be a post-scrimmage kick foul enforcement from the 20-yard line, half the distance, first down.
Manu Taw, freshman from Chula Vista, won a first-team all-defensive Metro Mesa Conference crown last year. And he is the guilty party for the Tigers. 12:16 to go opening half. Riverside 13, Long Beach 0 in this critical non-conference affair. Both teams were in the same league just 1 year ago. But in a conference realignment, the Tigers joined Southwestern and many other clubs out of the National Southern Conference, and Long Beach joined the National Northern Conference. And the Vikings have got a good conference opening matchup, which should be very intriguing as Smart feeds to begin the drive, a gut run to Walker, who gains 5 down to the 15. Long Beach opens league play in Los Angeles to battle the Huskies of East Los Angeles College. That is Saturday the 13th at 6 p.m. as ELAC has come from out of oblivion to represent the National Northern Conference as one of their best teams. They received votes, ranked 26th in the state is East Los Angeles. And the Vikings should have their hands full in a couple weeks in their conference opener. Riverside goes to the ground, sweeping run for Walker, and he calls to the 21. First down, Tigers. RCC moving the ball with 11:39 to go opening half. A fast-moving football game here from Veterans Memorial Stadium in Long Beach. It's a 13-0 lead for the Tigers. Malik Walker has spearheaded what has been a punishing ground game delivered by the Tigers. 4 receivers, belt-eye snap, Smart feeds to Walker, and he is pulled down at the 23, a gain of 2, as Brown joined Obi-Share on the tackle, along with Hayashi, freshman from Tokyo, Japan. Tigers bring in substitutions. Kane Villamue checks back in at tight end, replacing Antonio Mitchell, redshirt freshman receiver from Murrieta, California. 3 receivers on a 2nd and 7. Tigers at their own 24. Stone Smart, the Northern Arizona transfer, takes the shotgun snap, hands over left guard. Here is Wimbish, who breaks a tackle. Quincy Wimbish in a foot races to the 40. 35-30, and he is run out of bounds at the 28-yard line as Jordan Yancey saved the touchdown. Wimbish appeared to be hit and dropped in the backfield. He stayed on his feet, and it's a scamper from Wimbish of 47 yards. What a run. It's his longest carry of the season. And the sophomore from Murrieta, California, will get spelled out of the game in favor of Dunmar Fisher. Tigers have Xavier Marshall fresh in the game, freshman from Centennial High School in Corona, but they go to the ground again. Gut run, here's Fisher to the 20, 15, 10, 5, touchdown Tigers. Dunmar Fisher scores from 28 yards out.
Dunmar Fisher with the carry and a touchdown for the Tigers.
A sensational run from Dunmar Fisher, who scores his third touchdown of the year, and it was led, the key play, from Quincy Wimbish, who rattled off the 47-yard scamper to put them near the red zone. Zach Cervalis, the freshman kicker, misses the PAT, as it may have been blocked. It did sound like it did, as RCC as a team has missed 4 PATs this year, 2 of them in this first half. 10:22 remaining second quarter. Riverside leads 19-0 as they have left 2 points on the scoreboard. From the looks of it, those points will have no factor in today's game, but it may end up costing them, as it potentially did against Fullerton in week 2, and you just hope it isn't the same storyline in conference play. As the Tigers, they've got a tough league schedule. They did switch conferences, which may end up being even more challenging because they don't know what to expect from 5 brand new conference foes. They joined the National Southern Conference, where the Jaguars of Southwestern are ranked as the top team behind Riverside in the league. They're number 9 of the state and 3-0 right now, but they host Fullerton later today, so that will be maybe their toughest matchup until the Tiger game. At the 5-yard line, Long Beach brings it out. Kalen Simmons, the freshman, springs across the field and over the left side is tackled at the 26. It appears there's no flag down. The PA announcer confusing me a moment. 10:16 left to go. Here's second quarter. It's a 19-0 edge for Riverside. No, there is a flag down. I'm the one fooled. Nick Rice on hand, Tigers football, the national sports, Spreaker.com. David Batista, the head official for this football game today in the SCFA, he has been busy. Here's the call. Keiz Hayashi has been a busy man tonight, freshman from Tokyo, Japan. As the Vikings are backed up inside their own 20-yard line, they'll push it to the 15 left hash. As the Vikings, who average 43 points per game, have been shut out through 20 minutes so far in the opening half. This offense has gained plenty of yards, almost 200 yards, amassed so far today for the host Long Beach Vikings. However, they have yet to punch it in, as 2 drives have stalled inside the Tiger 35. 3 receivers, chest high snap, Peabody flips it down the left sideline. It's knocked away by Wilson. Raphael Jones, the runner from Santa Ana, the intended target, as they ran a quick outcut left, and Wilson had a good break on the ball. He deflects the pass, his 3rd breakup of the year. He led the league with 8 of those last year. A transfer from Fresno State. It's hard to believe this secondary has played this bad this year with Eric Wilson. He hasn't been hurt. He has been the full-time starter there at one of the corner spots, joining Aaron Mannery on the other side. So this secondary has a real plethora of experience, but have got up to a slow start. In 2018, Peabody pumps, shovels it left, and his intended receiver, Jones, slips and falls at the 15-yard line. Hollifield tags him down. As it do the Vikings face another 3rd down. It has the feeling that Long Beach, they just can't seem to beat this secondary tonight, as Riverside has played a much better performance than that of just a week ago against San Bernardino Valley. The Wolverines struggled to run the ball, but their quarterback in Herrera was lights out. in the home game just a week ago. Deep drop, Peabody pumps. He's being chased by Olatoa, scrambles right. He's running ahead of the 15 and scampers out of the 19-yard line. Olatoa, it appeared he had a beat on him, but Peabody just had that second gear and runs for 4. But the Vikings go 3 and outs. 9:29 to go, opening half. 19-0 lead for Riverside. Nick Rice on hand, Tigers football, the National Sports, Spreaker.com. Make sure to return for not only radio coverage, but live stream coverage at Wheelock Stadium next Saturday. You can catch the full broadcast, rccfootball.net, online, and also you can look at the RCC football schedule and media page for all information about next Saturday's contest, a top 25 tilt as the Tigers host the Olympians of number 22 San Diego Mesa. Carcamo delivers a low line drive punt. It's taken by Showers, but it was so low it took him a second to gather the ball, and he returns for 10. But DeQuante Showers is a dangerous threat. A touchdown waiting to happen. The redshirt freshman from Jacksonville. 3 stars coming out of high school, 14 D1 offers from schools such as Appalachian State, Colorado, and Western Kentucky. So he is a highly touted recruit, and moreover, he's just another man in this RCC lineup because there are so many different stars, players that you will and definitely should expect to see play Division I football next year and the years to come, and even the National Football League, where the Tigers have a couple players on 53-man rosters. From the 40 of Long Beach, Smart looks to throw, drop of 3 steps. He dances the pocket and is sacked. Hayashi and Marvin Boyd combined on the sack, a loss of 2, and just the 5th sack of the year for the Vikings. As Long Beach has struggled all year to rush the passer, they're last in the conference in that category. And after the loss, Riverside runs up on the ball quickly. Pistol handoff to Walker, and he navigates through some heavy traffic down to the 38-yard line. A pickup of 4 that time for Malik Walker. The bell cow from Corona, and he is nearing 1,000 yards career rushing the ball. Has a very serviceable 1-2 punch alongside some speedsters we saw on full display in the last drive. And Dunmar Fisher and Quincy Wimbish wide 2x2. Play action Smart. He flips an outcut left. Showers makes the catch. It's his just 2nd of the year. And he runs out at the 29. On 3rd and 9, it's a completion of 10 and a Tigers first down. While Riverside is rolling on 3rd downs especially, they came in 1st in the league and 3rd in the entire state of California, and 3rd down conversion rate. They were 8 of 13 last week as well. This is an offense that just can't seem to be stopped in 2018. 19-0 Tigers halfway through the second quarter. Riverside elects to go with a run, and it's a short pickup that time for Quincy Wimbish, 1 yard over the left tackle. The head coach of this juggernaut is Tom Kraft. In his 9th year with Riverside, he has won 85% of his games so far. And moreover, this is a team that no matter where they go, they are very productive. The Tigers on the road are 33-13. 2nd down and 9. Smart to throw on a rush of 4. Scrambles right, looks, he'll tuck and run, and is pulled down by way of King Me'ile, the freshman from Carson, with a tackle after the 1-yard gain. They're 33-13 on the road under Tom Kraft. That should be noted because before Kraft got there, this team went 1-9 the year before that he arrived. A former Aztec of San Diego State, he is an illustrious head coach. 3rd down, his Tigers need the 19-yard line. Smart throws an outcut left. Here's Mitchell again. He breaks a tackle to 20 and is down with a Jeremiah Houston stop at the 18-yard line. The Vikings can't get off the field on critical 3rd downs as the Tigers move the chains again. Riverside from the 40-yard line of Long Beach. They have advanced to the Viking 18. Nick Rice on hand. Tigers football, the National Sports, Spreaker.com. The visiting Tigers lead 19-0 with 6:20 to go in a fast-moving opening half. Wide 2x2 again. Mitchell, who converted the 3rd down, he's left slot, 5-step drop. He shovels a running back screen. Wimbish dances to the 15 and is lassoed down by way of Boyd at the 13-yard line. Wimbish ran in the end zone. He is so jazzed. Riverside, it seems when they play this Vikings club, they just play their best football. as Riverside dismantled the Vikings in Wheelock last year, 51-14. They may even have a more convincing score this go around here at Veterans Memorial Stadium. An absolute exhibition for the Tigers. From inside the 15, a second down run, and Winbish gallops near the end zone. No signal yet. Winbish was tackled by Houston, and down he is at the 1 foot line. Not only did he hurdle to the end zone, Winbish did a full somersault. All right, that was a very impressive display of some athleticism there for the sophomore. Tigers up on the ball, Long Beach substitutions, but it doesn't matter. Winbish strolls in for a touchdown, but the officials stopped the play first. This could be a timeout. Timeout, Long Beach. From the time the snap was back, there was Vikings defenders 10 yards behind the line of scrimmage, just scrambling to get on the field off substitutions. And with 5:28 to go in the half, the Vikings used their first timeout of the game. Riverside has 2 left as well, but if the Tigers can punch this one in, they have 15 red zone touchdowns this year, which is second to the state of California. All right, this may be a game that the Vikings' insurmountable deficit will have no way of coming back from. And this is a very important play right now as they look to punch it in. The Vikings are talking things over, led by their head coach in Brett Peabody. He turned over a pretty struggling organization. They were fledgling. They went 4-6 in Peabody's first year. But since that moment, in 2013, they have won 79% of their games and 3 consecutive co-championships. They split conference grounds 3 straight years along with Riverside. The Vikings have even knocked off the Tigers. And for Riverside City College, this club is yet again playing their best football against LBCC. The Vikings are taking a smack in the mouth. They lost the former conference foe Mount Sac, and here they are again, down 19-0. Direct snap, Viramontes. He runs in untouched. Touchdown Tigers. And Riverside expands to a 25-0 lead with just over 5 minutes to go in the half. There's some extracurricular following the touchdown from Viramontes. It's his second rushing score of the ball game. He had 2 coming in. Rushing scores from Stone Smarts and also Dunmar Fisher have helped the Tigers expand their lead. Here is the ever so entertaining extra point for the Tigers. They have missed 4 PATs in just 3.5 games. Tigers bring in John Garibay again, the sophomore from Rubidoux, California. On PATs, he is 7 for 10. Off the good hold, the kick is on the way, and they boot it through. Kick is good, and it's 26-0 in favor of the Tigers. Ironically, he has about the same field goal percentage than PAT percentage. It's just been an adventure this year. And for some dialect to John Garibay, in the third quarter against Fullerton, he missed a PAT, which wound up being the 1 point the Tigers desperately needed to tie that game against number 1 Fullerton, where the Hornets beat him 34-33. Late in the fourth quarter, Tigers had a chance in that game at home, but failed on a third down with about 4 minutes left. Hornets got the ball back and shoot up all of the remaining, except for about 10 seconds of the game, and the Tigers ran out of time in their next offensive possession. That was a game, however, in which the Hornets racked up 576 yards. So even though the Tigers lost by way of that 1 point from Garibay, moreover, it just seems that the Tigers need to shore up that defense in order to become a team to reckon with in the SCFA playoffs. As the Hornets in that game in Riverside, 576 yards, they averaged nearly 12 yards per pass play. Short kickoff sent from Garibay, taken at the 14-yard line. Simmons heads left and veers to the 30. Stacked up off the 16-yard return. Nicholas Whitney, freshman from Downey, makes the tackle. As the Vikings do have solid starting field position for their next drive, but trail the Tigers 26-0. Long Beach has nearly 200 yards all-purpose in the ball game. But for the Tigers, this may be the storyline this year. Can they make important stops? Because they have bent so far today but haven't broken at all in a 26-0 Riverside lead. Nick Rice on hand, Tigers football, the National Sports, Spreaker.com. Vikings have the ball down 26-0 with 5:17 to go in the half. Sweeping run, here is Jones, who is tackled to the backfield by Victor Viramontes. He stepped in beautifully Loss of 3 delivered from the linebacker from Norco. Boy, Viramontes, he has become a havoc in opponents' backfields. 16 tackles this year and 2 for loss coming into the ballgame. And he has increased on those totals in this ballgame tonight. Viramontes anchors the spot of the middle linebacker position, joined by Ahone Whites, along with Zachariah Hollifield as the starters at linebacker. 3 receivers, deep drop. Here's Peabody. He looks, fires over the middle. It dropped by Viramontes. Viramontes had it in his hands. It looked like he picked it off, intended for Jonathan Bonds. But the deflection sets up a 3rd down. 3rd and a long 13 to go for Long Beach, with 4:34 to go in the half. Vikings at 37% on 3rd down tries this year. They'll need the 40 to avoid a 3-and-out. Long Beach back on the ball. It's really 3rd and 14 here at the 26. Peabody, the stud quarterback from Torrance, lines up with a shotgun alongside Jones, waiting for the snap. Tigers bringing 4 on a twist. 5th comes in late. Peabody back, throws over the middle. It's dropped by Lathan. Knocked away by Viramontes. A late deflection by way of Wilson. And the Tigers force a Long Beach 3-and-out. Outstanding defensive efforts for the Tigers in the ballgame. After their 7 points allowed against El Camino, they gave up 34 to Fullerton, 35 to San Bernardino Valley, and in this game, the defense had been reeling, but they stepped up in a big way tonight here at Veterans Memorial Stadium, and now have a chance to tack on more points before the half in a clinic for Riverside. Hard for the Tiger fans to not enjoy every minute of this beatdown over Long Beach. Carcamo's punt is high. Andal Varenz sailing the return man over the shoulder catch. Terrific effort by way of Tyler Kennedy. He spins with a flag down and takes a tumble to the 34. A return of 3 yards for the defending SCFA Special Teams Player of the Week. He had a 94-yard kickoff return touchdown and the win over San Bernardino Valley on the road last week. Penalty flag down. David Batista will yet again get some on-camera work with 4:14 left to go in the half. 26-0 lead for your Riverside City College Tigers, who appear to be in tip-top shape. Yeah, so the Tigers are backed up off of the infraction that time, as Riverside will set up shop up 26-0 at their own 20-yard line. The Tigers have scored on all 4 possessions so far. Touchdown drives of 83 yards, 60 yards, 40 yards, and if I'm not being mistaken, 75 yards. Testing my knowledge, it's an inside run to Walker, and over left guard, he's down to the 24. 4-yard gain, the tackle made quickly by number 21, Jack Genova, the freshman from Santa Ana. He is the team's leading tackler, and that is a bad sign if your safety is the one getting the most stops of the year. He does have 4 for loss, a sack, and a deflection this year. 2nd and 6 Tigers, their own 24. Back to the ground with Wilson, and down he goes at the line of scrimmage. Noah Bias getting some push up front for Long Beach. Coming up at the half, we'll break down the numbers from this game, but some important scores from around the SCFA as the Southwestern Jaguars in the National Southern Conference, same one as the Tigers. Southwestern has got maybe their most critical non-conference game in years as they host number 1 Fullerton, a game in which the Tigers are hoping their conference foe wins. Swinging pass right, Fisher's hitting the backfield, somehow gets out of it, but still crawls ahead just to the 21-yard line, pulled down off the loss. The tackle made by Drew Lamore, sophomore from Hawaii. 3:03 left to go in the half, and the Tigers go 3-and-out. John Garibay for the punt, just the first time in the ballgame, and the 14th this year. He has rarely attempted punts this year, which is a very good sign in favor of the Tigers. With 2:45 left to go in the half, Riverside leads 26-0. Chest-high snap. Garibay sends it away, but a flag is down. Coming up for Riverside, home for number 22 San Diego Mesa, followed by conference play, begins at home against Grossmont, as a false start is committed against the Tigers on Tyler Jones. Tigers then visit Golden West, home to battle number 9 Southwestern. It is the second of top 10 matchups that are at home for the Tigers, so they certainly got the benefit of the schedule makers this year. Then they conclude conference play at Orange Coast and home for number 20 Saddleback. Punt is a bit short on a hop taken by Bates of the 43, springs right. He reverses and is tackled back of the 40. Tyler Jones makes up for the penalty and records the tackle off a return of -4 yards for Victor Bates. The star freshman receiver from Buena Park, he has been absolutely non-existent tonight for Long Beach City College. So the Vikings will take over at their own 39-yard line, a unit averaging 43 points per game, 432 yards per game, and an offense overall ranked second in the conference, 16th in the states. They have racked up the points this year, but they are down 26-0 with 2:30 left to go in the half. It should be noted the Tigers do receive the ball to begin the third quarter. Long Beach off a penalty here. There was a hold off of that negative return. They take over at the 29-yard line. The chain gang is scrambling to get set as Long Beach lines up empty formation. They have 5 eligibles in the ball game, and the Tigers line up with a 3-man front. RCC with 6 defensive backs here. Tight motion for Tashawn White, the transfer from Montana at tailback. They feed him to begin the drive, a run over right guard. He cuts right to the 30, delivers a straight arm, and is lassoed down, spilled by Viramontes at the 32. A 3-yard gain for Tashawn White, who was the bell cow coming in. But it's his just first carry of the night. Tashawn White's third in the league in rushing as a freshman from Inglewood, California. And now the Vikings are back up on the ball. 3-yard gain, now 2nd and 7. Short 7 there at the 32 right hash. Peabody takes the snap off the play action to White, who releases. He's back with time, rolls left in the pocket, chased by Olatoa. He scrambles out of bounds. A late hit from Fitzgerald at the 35-yard line. A 3-yard pickup that time. As Drake Peabody, the son of head coach Brett Peabody, faces a 3rd down and a long 3 for the Vikings at their own 35. 1:51 to go in the half, but the clock stops. 26-0 RCC. As in a battle of 2-1s, both teams top 15 in the state, and has been a clinic in favor of Riverside. 3rd down and a long 3 at the 35 left hash. Empty formation. Peabody drops 3 steps, flips it quickly, a hitch route over to Bonds, who makes the catch, and is lassoed down by Viramontes to the 41. Gain of 6 and a conversion on 3rd and 3. The Vikings desperately needed that conversion in a 2-minute drill here from Veterans Memorial Stadium. Vikings back on the ball at their own 41 right hash. 4 receivers, Milshon Lathan watched over by Mannery. 7-step drop. They go towards Lathan on a fly route, and the pass is overthrown. Good coverage there from Aaron Mannery, the sophomore from San Jacinto, California. That'll set up 2nd and 10. They dialed up the deep ball as Peabody off the incompletion. Sees the clock, 90 seconds left. 26-0 Tigers. And for that offense, they have plenty of yards, but have stalled consistently in Tiger territory. 4 receivers for Long Beach. Peabody the shotgun, White flanking him right, a half body length behind the quarterback will change the play. Bates, Lee, along with number 12, Tariq Culpepper, are the 3 receivers spread left. Lathan right side against the Tiger nickel. They'll bring in Twist defensively on a rush of 5. He throws over the middle, knocked in the air off Culpepper, and nearly intercepted. Fitzgerald knocked it away, and now the Vikings face 3rd and 10. 2 deflections, one from Fitzgerald, the other from Viramontes, and this Tigers secondary has played exquisitely well tonight. Maybe their best performance given the competition in any game this year the secondary has had. 4 receivers again. Lathan watched over once more by Aaron Mannery as the Tigers go nickel. Rush of only 3. He throws a quick flip left side out, cut over complete. It's Devin Rouse, his first catch of the year, and he is down to the 46. A 13-yard completion to the freshman from Garden Grove, California, Devin Rouse. And now the Vikings, 1:18 to go in the half, are up on the football quickly. No huddle to the RCC 46 left hash. First and 10. Peabody, he scans the nickel, takes the snap, drops 3 steps, swings it left. Here's White who makes the catch, and is spilled by Olatoa at the 43. Joseph escorted him out as well. As the Viking running back, Tashawn White, his first catch of the year, ironically. Just a 3-yard gain. It's been a very strange performance for White, as Long Beach early on in the first half abandoned the run game completely and are chasing a 4-score deficit late in the half. Bell-die snap. Peabody's looking deep, but he's under pressure. Chased out by Hollifield. Tucks to the 40. 35-30. There's green grass at the 20. A good block from Bates, and he runs in, but is marked out back at the 17. Drake Peabody with another incredible scramble for the Vikings. They'll push up the ball to the 12-yard line. Drake Peabody gains 25 yards. The Vikings are back in the red zone. A group that has struggled this year, punching it in from inside the 20. Bates has no one on him as the receiver from Long Beach. A late coverage over from Koa Olatoa, but a timeout is called by way of Riverside with 55 seconds to go in the half. That was the type of defense that the Tigers displayed at San Bernardino Valley last week. They just simply didn't have good coverages, and they got burned on a number of occasions as Herrera torched them for 387 yards passing and the Tiger victory. So even though they won by convincing fashion, this defense, a good opportunity here near the red zone to make some plays. Part of the problem for Riverside is that they just can't seem to take away the football. That may have something to do with the loads of yardage. Nearly 2 interceptions for the Tigers in this quarter, but they just couldn't quite hang on to them. One from Fitzgerald and one from Viramontes. And now Long Beach, a very good drive, marching from their own 30 down to the Tiger 12. They have 55 seconds to go in the half and 2 timeouts. Time is not a factor here as the Vikings face 1st and 10. Bates over left, watched by Wilson. They have 3 wide rights as Rouse joins Bonds and also Lathan that side. Peabody with a league-high 9 passing touchdowns, lines up with a shotgun set. White over left. He looks and quickly runs. Over right tackle, he scoots to the 10. Tackled by Viramontes. No timeout signal yet, and now they finally do with 46 seconds remaining in the opening half. Here's the JUCO football rankings as we stand right now in entering week 4. No question, Fullerton is the number 1 ranked team of the country, not only the number 1 ranked team of the states. And following them is number 2 San Francisco, number 3 Ventura, who the Tigers will not play until potentially the playoffs, where Riverside beat them twice, including the wild card round of the SCFA last year. The Tigers are ranked 4th. They are the highest ranked 1-loss team, followed by number 5 Laney, number 6 Canyons, and number 7 Cerritos. A surprise out of the top 10. The Falcons, not because of the way they played, but because that they're playing this well. They certainly deserve the number 7 spot, but they haven't been ranked this high in years. And Cerritos will host Long Beach next week. Empty formation. Peabody takes the helmetized snap, rolls right in the pocket, looks end zone. He tucks, dances by Viramontes, loses the football. Recovered by the Tigers at the 9-yard line. Jaden Brown, the freshman from Henderson, Nevada. It's his first takeaway of the year. And the Vikings come up empty again with 36 seconds to go in the half.
Fumble on the play, recovered by Jaden Brown of the Tigers.
Whoa, Jaden Brown, who is a late offseason addition to the Tiger roster. And the true freshman gives a very important boost to that Tiger defense. They look to punch the shutout, and it appears that with the Tigers receiving to start the third quarter, Riverside brings in some beef to try and run out this clock. As Stone Smart, the quarterback transferring from Northern Arizona University from last year, in the pistol, he takes the snap, feeds. Here is Fisher, who cuts rights and is spilled for a loss. That might be the final play of the first half. As we have less than 30 seconds remaining in the intermission, Tigers do bring in Quincy Wimbish at running back. Maybe they'll try and get one more run in after the loss of 3 from Dunmar Fisher, who checks out with 14 seconds to go in the half. The Tigers 2-1 on the year, and despite some very impressive performances, this might be their best starts in any game this year. Tigers beat Long Beach by 38 last year, and through 2 quarters, Riverside leads the Vikings in the rematch 26-0. What a performance from the Riverside defense as they have pitched the shutout so far and record a huge takeaway as we head to the half. 26-0. Jaden Brown, the fumble recovery, the only takeaway for either side so far in the ballgame, as the Tigers, with a 26-0 lead, go into the half feeling good and will receive to start the third quarter. Back in a moment. This is Tigers football on the National Sports, Spreaker.com.
Hey, Thirst, can I try out a few Coke Summer sound effects on you? Yes. Cool. You okay with this? Yes. And this? Yes. And what about this? Yes. Ha! Gotcha there, Thirst. That wasn't sound effects. That was a Coke. I'm no longer thirsty. You're so out of here. Coca-Cola. Open happiness.
Genuine Ford Parts and Service presents a word from your wallet.
Are we at the gas station? Ow.
Yeah, I know. I'm feeling these gas prices, too.
I'm the wallet down here. Head to a Ford dealership.
Why?
Proper vehicle maintenance. A new air filter can save 19 cents a gallon. Correct tire inflation up to 6 cents a gallon.
Wow, that sure adds up.
Fat wallets are very in right now.
Right now, Motorcraft air filter replacement is just $19.95 or less. Replacing a dirty air filter can increase fuel economy by as much as 10%.
Well, done. That was easy.
Maybe you should listen to your wallet more often.
Well, you're typically pretty quiet.
Well, I didn't want to be a pain in the...
Hurry in for the best deals we've had in years. Money-saving rebates on brakes, batteries, tires, and more. See your participating Ford dealer today.
Welcome back, Tigers football, the National Sports Spreaker.com. This halftime report is presented by Magnolia Heating and Cooling. A quick update out of Central California as Golden West, who jumped their record up to 2-2 on the year, record a critical victory over the Bakersfield Renegades. A 13-11 win for the Rustlers. This is off of the dreadful start to the year where they go 1-2, a team that many projected to compete for a potential conference crown. Boy, they have 2 losses under their non-conference slate, but do have a 13-11 victory as they staved off Bakersfield. Late safety from the Renegades made it close, but they wound up winning by 2. And that is very important as we look at the National Southern Conference standings right now. Here's how it stands with this score. It's the Tigers 26-0 over the Long Beach Vikings, null and void. So number 9 Southwestern leads the conference at 3-0. Number 4 Riverside is next at 2-1. You've got Golden West off the win at 2-2, followed by number 20 Saddleback and Orange Coast both at 1-2, and Grossmont is sitting at 0-3. Those are your numbers and your standings so far the National Southern Conference, but with the Tigers win and a Southwestern loss to Fullerton, it's the Tigers who can avenge and overtake the Jaguars for the number 1 spot in the National Southern Conference. We'll have scores and updates throughout this Magnolia Heating and Cooling halftime reports, which is presented also by the fine folks of Chick-fil-A. Other scores from outside of the National Southern Conference. Early first quarter, San Bernardino Valley, off the impressive display against RCC, leads 7-0 over Southwest. 3-0 Moore Park lead over Saddleback, who is now in the conference with Long Beach City, with the Tigers, rather, of Riverside City College. My bad. Saddleback down 3-0 in that contest, early first quarter. And also for the Tigers, they're looking very closely at that Southwestern Fullerton game for 2 reasons. One, because they could have a lead in the conference, but they'll take second place if Fullerton loses, because the Hornets last year got a home game for the SCFA Championship against the Tigers because they were heading into that game at 12-0, and the Tigers were 11-0, and the Tigers were 10-1 going into that contest. So if the roles were flipped, that game could have been at Wheelock Stadium for the SCFA title, and Riverside plays very well at home as they lost only their first home game in the regular season in 8 years. 9 years, actually, in that Week 2 loss to Fullerton. So they are overall 46-2 at home. They just simply don't lose under Tom Kraft at home. So the Tigers would have had that game in that building if the roles were reversed. If Fullerton loses today to Southwestern, then the Tigers could technically be in a position to have a home game if the roles remain the same and both teams win out to meet in the SCFA championship, which it appears it could be the case. But the Pirates are putting a big old wrench in this situation right now as they come in undefeated and ranked number 3 in the state of California. Right now, the top teams in the SCFA, as it stands right now, are the Tigers, who, just as mentioned just a couple minutes ago, lead Long Beach 26-0, but also in other critical scores from around the league. The Tigers will most likely have number 1 Fullerton to fend with in the playoffs, along with in the SCFA, number 3 Ventura, and number 7 Cerritos. The Falcons, red hot to start the year, 3rd in the state at 51 points per game, and they also lead the state at over 7 yards a carry, led by veteran running back and Ramonde Stevenson, who is ranked as one of the top 10 JUCO players in the entire state of California, regardless of position. So Cerritos has got a juggernaut up there in the LA area. The Tigers had a tough time beating them last year in Cerritos College, and the Vikings will have to try and knock them off in that building next week in the non-conference finale for both the Vikings and the Tigers. We're just underway in the Magnolia Heating and Cooling Halftime Report, which is presented by Chick-fil-A. Back in 7 minutes to break down the scores and notables in the National Southern Conference and also the statistics from this beatdown for the Tigers, a 26-0 start for Riverside over Long Beach. This is the Magnolia Heating and Cooling Halftime Report. Tigers football is presented on the National Sports Spreaker.com.
Hey, Thirst, can I try out a few Coke Summer sound effects on you? Yes. Cool. You okay with this? Yes. And this? Yes. And what about this? Ha! Gotcha there, Thirst. That wasn't sound effects. That was a Coke. I'm no longer thirsty. You're so out of here. Coca-Cola. Open happiness.
Genuine Ford Parts and Service presents a word from your wallet.
Are we at the gas station? Oh.
Yeah, I know. I'm feeling these gas prices, too.
I'm the wallet down here. Head to a Ford dealership.
Why?
Proper vehicle maintenance. A new air filter can save 19 cents a gallon. Correct tire inflation up to 6 cents a gallon.
Wow, that sure adds up.
Fat wallets are very in right now.
Right now, Motorcraft air filter replacement is just $19.95 or less. Replacing a dirty air filter can increase fuel economy by as much as 10%.
Well, done. That was easy.
Maybe you should listen to your wallet more often.
Well, you're typically pretty quiet.
Well, I didn't want to be a pain in the...
Hurry in for the best deals we've had in years. Money-saving rebates on brakes, batteries, tires, and more. See your participating Ford dealer today.
Los Angeles, we never walk alone. Forever true, we'll stay in tribute to our city. No matter where we go. you wanna play, you gotta pay, you know, to keep the clubs from going under. That's the price that breaks the floors every fool before. Underneath the haze, the streets of this maze, all the way from the 10 to the 5 to the 134. These streets are nothing but a parking lot, but I don't care, 'cause I'm not going anywhere. This is LA, our city, our home, Los Angeles. We never walk alone, forever true. We'll stay in tribute to our city, no matter where we go. This is our home. It's 2 a.m. again. When will I ever learn? If those warm winds blow me home tonight, I'll have a place to lay my head. I'll leave my troubles at the foot of my bed. On the West Coast shore, it's been far too long. So what if I got no money in my pockets? I'll always stand up strong, 'cause I'm in the city where I belong. This is LA, our city, our home, Los Angeles. We never walk alone, forever true. We'll stay in tribute to our city, no matter where we go. This is our home. Alright. This is LA, our city, our home, Los Angeles. We never walk alone. This is LA, our city, our home, Los Angeles. We never walk alone, forever true. We'll stay in tribute to our city, no matter where we go. This is our home. This is LA, our city, our home, Los Angeles. We never walk alone, forever true. We'll stay in tribute to our city, no matter where we go. This is our home, forever true. We'll stay in tribute to our city, no matter where we go. This is our home.
Hey, this that Eastside Johnny Big Redemption like. Know what I'm talking about? Hold up. Whoa, 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 whoa. Get out the way, get out the way, get out the way, yeah. Get out the way, get the up out my way, yeah. You either with me or against me though. You either with me or win. Win, 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 win. Curve everything else. Win, 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 win. These ops ain't lit. Win, 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 win. Start chasing that chip. Win, 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 win. Big J Rocco on 10, 10, 10, 10. Exit at 4. Bring friends. Matt Black 2 dough. Jump in. You might wanna keep score. I win, 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 win. Forearm tattoos. That's squad. All of them gon' shoot. Don't try. I walk in room. They eyes wide. Third album come soon. I'm glad y'all gon' die. I ain't chasing after no. I got bigger plans with staying rich. I've been tapped in since I was 6. I tap dance all on a brick. And your diamonds like tap water. That drip way too foggy. These VVS is way awesome. Park CLS for baby mama. Drop to your death without warning. Get out the way, get out the way, get out the way, yeah. Get out the way, get the up out my way, yeah. You either with me or against me though. You either with me or win. Win, 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 win. outside. I put the beats on them like Dre outside. I got the bow side and LL side. And if you act bad, I bring the cow side. Go and get your money, bitch. None of my hitters on some funny shit. I can tell real by who you're running with. I'm all in the field, duck, lunch. Hit my plug just to re-up, and he was like, boop. Here. Migo knew just what it was, flipped the whole dub and gave it back, boop. Yeah. 911, no mileage, baby. 9-ball with no violence, baby. My trigger finger got callous, baby. My bare knuckles got talent, baby. I'm all in the wind with it. On Deuce line, I've been with it. She too fine, I've been hit it. Crashed 2 times, I limo tinted my new ride. I'm riding with the toaster. 12 better not pull me over. Championship going dumb. Nothing to something I won. Get out the way, get out the way, get out the way, yeah. Get out the way, get the up out my way, yeah. You either with me or against me, though. You either with me or win. Win, 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 win. Curve everything else. Win, 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 win. These ops ain't lit. Win, 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 win. Start chasing that chip. Win, 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 win.
Taking a family of 5 to the amusement park can cost a small fortune.
Oh, yeah. So to save some money, we thought, hey, let's bring the amusement park to us.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
All right, step right up, young man. Are you ready to ride the wacky waterfall?
That's just the bathtub with the shower head running.
Nope, it's the wacky waterfall.
It's the shower, Dad.
Waterfall.
Wacky.
There's an easier way to save. To get a free rate quote, go to geico.com, then buy online, over the phone, or at your local Geico office.
Taking a family of 5 to the amusement park can cost a small fortune.
Oh, yeah. So to save some money, we thought, hey, let's bring the amusement park to us.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
All right, step right up, young man. Are you ready to ride the wacky waterfall?
That's just the bathtub with the shower head running.
Nope, it's the wacky waterfall.
It's the shower, Dad.
Waterfall.
Wacky.
There's an easier way to save. To get a free rate quote, go to geico.com, then buy online, over the phone, or at your local Geico office.
Welcome back. Tigers football, the national sports, Spreaker.com. Oh, yeah, that was a very quick halftime. Halftime report was presented by Magnolia Heating and Cooling and Chick-fil-A. Tigers received to begin the third quarter. Augustin Delgadillo with a 26-0 RCC lead to kick off for the Vikings. Nick Rice on hand, Tigers football on the national sports, Spreaker.com. Delgadillo's kickoff is very short, taken at the 17-yard line by Antonio Mitchell, run out by Poyer. And the Tigers take over off the short return, only a 4-yard run back from Antonio Mitchell, the redshirt freshman from Murrieta, California. He played cornerback at Vista Murrieta High School, and in his first year with RCC, switched positions. And so far, he's got 3 receptions, 15 yards and a touchdown, which he scored in that contest against number 2 Fullerton. Tigers have been on the road ever since at San Bernardino Valley, tonight at Long Beach, but return home and a live stream coverage on rccfootball.net, as I'll bring you the broadcast alongside all the fine folks of RCC football, when the Tigers play host to number 22 San Diego Mesa in a game that may end up being a very important playoff deterrence for the loser, as Long Beach is having a very similar fate in their eyes right now. Non-conference games, while they do not determine conference standings, they can do a whole lot to either push you in or out of the playoff picture. Inside run, here is Fisher, and he motors over left guard down to the 26, a 5-yard gain for the redshirt freshman. But as we look at the last year, where Long Beach and Mount San Antonio lost non-conference games, the Tigers didn't. And even though they all had the same conference record, it was RCC, because of that non-conference effort, that wound up making it to the postseason, and both Long Beach and Mount San Antonio were held out. Fullerton and Ventura were the other 2 teams, and I forget who was the wild card, but Ventura and Fullerton were the conference champions. It appears those 2 will be conference champions again from the looks of it right now, but it's hard to fully tell. Stone Smart scrambles left and converts the third down as he runs to the 36. Munton makes the tackle off the 10-yard scamper from Stone Smart, who is pushing his rushing total up. Taking over with the monster shoes, he looks to fill in from Victor Viramontes' 2017 year, where he accounted for over 3,000 yards all-purpose. Smart this year almost has 1,000 yards total in the first 3.5 games of this year, throwing for 752, running for 160, and 9 total touchdowns. He has been a star this year. Wide 2x2 Tigers at their own 36 as we are just underway third quarter. Gut run to Fisher. He heads right and has stacked up both Yancey along with Bunting combined at the tackle. Number 10, Justin Allman, sophomore from Torrance, in there as well, as he gains 3 yards. 2 minutes in, third quarter. Riverside leads 26-0. Touchdown runs from Stone Smarts, Victor Viramontes, Quincy Wimbish, and also Dunmar Fisher. 2nd and 7 at their own 39-yard line right hash. Tigers to the air. Smart drops 3 steps, throws to the leaping Melqui Stovall, the transfer from California. He had a great 2016 year in Berkeley with the Cal Bears, and after redshirting last year, transferred to Riverside, and he came in with almost 200 yards receiving in 3 games. So very productive year, and more to come for the Tigers. Here's a run to Walker, and he goes nowhere. That was a 3rd and 2 carry, and Walker gained maybe 1. Stacked up by King Maile, freshman from Carson. Tigers 4th and short. They'll go for it. Riverside lines up wide 2x2 at their own 45. Run to Walker, and he is stacked up short by Maile. The Tigers turn it over on downs for the first time in the ballgame. 3-minute drive, and Riverside comes up empty. That gives the Vikings a good shot to score their first points of the ballgame. You better be careful. Number 13, Long Beach, is a very good football team, and the Vikings have got it at the 44-yard line of Riverside. Nick Rice on hand, Tigers football of the national sports, Spreaker.com. The Vikings, maybe the toughest non-conference schedule in the SCFA. as they've already played 2 ranked clubs in Mount San Antonio and here against the Tigers, then battled number 7 Cerritos in the non-conference finale. Here's a gut run to Jones, and he is dropped to the 37. 8-yard pickup for the freshman from Santa Ana. He came in averaging 6 yards a run and may boost that total to about 7 or 8 after this performance today. As Jones, maybe no touchdowns, but he has played well between the 20s. From the 37 of Riverside, second play of the drive. Another run to Jones. He veers to the left and is stacked up to the 37-yard line. As Olatoa made the stop, joining number 37, Deshaun Neal, the freshman from Hermiston, Oregon. Vikings face 3rd and a long 2 from the Tiger 36 left hash. 4 minutes in, third quarter. Tigers lead 26-0. 3 receivers in the set. Bates singled up left, watched over by Eric Wilson, the transfer from Fresno State. Long Beach needs the 34 to move the chains. Bonds and also Bates are the other 2 receivers. Direct snap. Peabody's got the first down. A quarterback run to the 31. Tackled by Kobe Fitzgerald. All right, this Vikings club on third down has been hit and miss this year, but they've got it going with their quarterback to start the third quarter. The son of head coach Brett Peabody. He is the league leader in passing touchdowns, searching for his first tonight. 10:43 to go, third quarter. Vikings are at the Riverside 31-yard line. Tigers line up in a base 3-4 defense and crowd the box with press coverage outside. Direct snap to Jonathan Murphy, the backup quarterback, feeds to Jones. He cuts to the right and is down to the 28. Jonathan Murphy is a freshman quarterback from Los Angeles and the only other signal caller on the roster. They have just 2 QBs to the Vikings this year, but they've got a couple good ones. And Drake Peabody and Jonathan Murphy. After Drake Peabody started the drive, Murphy's here to cap it off. 2nd and 8 from the Tiger 29. Long Beach spreading it out with 3 wide. The freshman quarterback from Los Angeles takes the chest-high snap. The southpaw looks, rolls left of the pocket, chase from behind. White is on the pressure. He throws down the field and finds Jonathan Bonds. He's down to the Tiger 9. Deshaun Neal was on the coverage and escorted him out. It's a strike of 19 yards from Jonathan Murphy to Jonathan Bonds, the freshman from Bellflower. Vikings have a goal to go. They'll push it back to the 10. Low snap, a handoff to Jones, and he is stacked up for a loss by Nicholas Figueroa, the sophomore from San Bernardino. As the Vikings are back to the 12-yard line where they have been poultry this year in the red zone against one of the best red zone teams in the country, and the Tigers. 2nd and goal from the RCC 12 with 9:25 left to go, third quarter. Tigers lead 26-0. This may be the last-ditch effort for the Vikings to come back. Murphy takes the shotgun snap. He juggled it. Rush of 7. He evades the pressure and is sacked by Figueroa. Loss of 10 delivered by the sophomore from San Bernardino. Long Beach had a chance to score a touchdown. Now outside of a miracle, they're hoping to at least stay in field goal range, as the Vikings in 2 plays have lost 13 yards. But Murphy stays in there. He came into the ball game 1 for 4 throwing the ball with 6 yards on the whole year. Now the Vikings, 3rd and goal from the 23, will spread it out again with 4 wides. The freshman quarterback waits and takes the snap, twists up front on a rush of 5. Murphy is pressured, steps up, and he'll run. Veers left to the 20, pumps, gets by another to the 15, to the 10, and gets a good block as Mannery got leveled, and Murphy is out of bounds. Victor Bates took an absolute shot on the block against Mannery, and the quarterback Murphy gained 15 yards. That was a 3rd and goal from the 23, now make it 4th and goal from the 8. Long Beach in desperate need of points, brings out the field goal units. Tigers have pitched the shutout so far. It's 26-0 Riverside halfway through the 3rd, and they'll bring out the field goal unit. Augustin Delgadillo, 2 of 4 this year and 6 of 11 in his career. Good hold. It's a line drive field goal, and it's no good. He missed it to the left. The sophomore from Carson comes up empty. It remains 26-0 in favor of Riverside with 8:07 to go, third quarter. Let's take a look at scores across the SCFA, presented by Magnolia Heating and Cooling and the proud folks of Chick-fil-A. Scores underway out of the SCFA. Citrus leads Santa Barbara 14-7. As the Owls look to improve to 4-1 on the year. Santa Monica, a huge lead over Compton 30-6. Mount San Jacinto 59-49 over Glendale as they come into the Hawks 4-0 on the season. And for Mount San Antonio, bouncing back off the loss to Cerritos, they lead 10-0 over East LA. Stone Smart takes a shot on a seam route down the right sideline, and the pass is knocked away by Genova, intended for Marshall. There is a flag down. Chaffee leads Pasadena City 14-7, 2:11 to play in the first quarter. As the Tigers appear, this could be on Long Beach.
Defense, number 21. 15-yard penalty from the previous spot. Automatic, first down.
The aforementioned freshman from Santa Ana, Jack Genova, is the guilty party for Long Beach. As we have played 7 minutes of the third quarter, and Riverside maintains a 26-0 lead. Tigers scored 4 rushing touchdowns in the first half on Stone Smart's legs, along with Victor Viramontes, Quincy Wimbish, and Dunmar Fisher. So everyone got involved. Stone Smart had everyone involved in the receiving game last week with 4 passing TDs, but this go-around, yet again on the road, it's the Tigers and their ground game, which has been on full display. The Tigers were second in the state of rushing last year, 4th this year. Smart throws an outcut right. Marshall's wide open, chest-high catch of the 40, and is lassoed down to the 45 by Houston. 10-yard completion, and Marshall has, I would say, moved the chains. Late indication. Yes, he has moved the chains. Took him about 10 seconds. 7:43 to go here, third quarter. Tigers on the move at their own 45-yard line right hash. And Stone Smarts, who has a highly accomplished prep and collegiate career, lines up with a shotgun set with a wide 2x2 with the 45. Wimbish next to him. They fake it to him. Smart looks deep, pumps, is pressured and sacked. Noah Bias. It's his first sack of the ball game, and the freshman has his first of his career. Well, also for the Vikings, their porous pass rush this year has gotten a boost. 2 sacks today, and now the Tigers are backed up. The quarterback for the Tigers, accomplished Stone Smart, a 2-time state champion at Del Oro High School, where he became a school record holder for pass yards, completions, and touchdowns for a career. As his pass is incomplete, intended right side for Marshall. The deflection delivered by Justin Allman. 6:57 left to go, third quarter. Riverside leads 26-0, and now the Tigers face 3rd and 14 at their own 41-yard line. First down make is at the Long Beach 45 as the Tigers spread 2 to the left, and Tyler Kennedy and Antonio Mitchell. Villamute tight end right. Jamal Houston checks in the game, a transfer from Colorado State. Tigers have 9 seconds on the play clock. They're taking their dear time on 3rd and 14. They were 8 for 13 on 3rd down last week. Smarts takes the snap. In the block is Wimbish, the running back. He stands, he rolls right, and he is sacked. 3rd sack of the ball game for Long Beach, the second on this drive. As Jeremiah Houston provided the pass rushing, and the sophomore from La Habra, he's got his first sack of the year. And despite this huge lead for Riverside, what's been lost is Jeremiah Houston's contributions this year. He leads the conference with 3 interceptions and also 4 deflections. So he has been huge for this Vikings defense. Held high snap, Garabay's punt, his second of the ball game, spirals end over end. And on a hop, he'll let it roll late, and the punt is rolling in favor of Long Beach. Finally downed at the, they'll mark it at around the 38-yard line, where the Long Beach offense has a short field. With 6:16 left to go in the third quarter. And the Vikings quickly head onto the field. Nick Rice and Hand Tigers football, the national sports, Spreaker.com. I was trying to get a number or a name for who got that down punt, but he's not even on the roster. So that makes it certainly tough. But Long Beach takes over at their own 38-yard line. Quarterback change. Freshman from Los Angeles, Murphy's in there. Second straight drive. Here's a gut run to Deshaun White. And he motors over right guard down to the 42. A transfer from Montana. He had a star senior year in high school in Inglewood, California. And despite being the bell cow to start this year, he sat a majority of the first half for some reason. Only sparingly touching the ball in favor of Pierre Robinson and Raphael Jones. But now he flanks the quarterback left. White averaging nearly 5 yards a carry. He's third in the league in rushing. He was a great addition to this running back core, and that might be part of the reason why they trail. Here's an inside run to White, and he is spilled for a loss. Upended by way of Jared Miranda, a sophomore from Long Beach. 5:30 left to go here, third quarter. Riverside leads 26-0 late in this third quarter. Vikings 4 receivers. Murphy and company need the 48-yard line to convert. Loose coverage out.
Walker with the carry. 9-yard pickup. Second and
all right, we're back in action. There was a bit of a technical issue here. Second and short. Walker gained 9 on the previous play and runs ahead for 3 and a first down. Allman makes the tackle. So Riverside has 5 ranked teams on their docket. Lost by 1 to number 1 Fullerton back in week 2. They are well on their way to defeating Long Beach in a convincing way. They lead 26-0 with 4 minutes to go third quarter. Tigers will then face number 22 San Diego Mesa next week in live stream coverage on rccfootball.net. Then the Tigers, to conclude the year, they've got number 9 Southwestern at home and number 20 Saddleback at home as well. The only road game against a ranked team they play is tonight against Long Beach. And boy, have they done a great job of playing up to the vest. 17-yard completion of Tyler Kennedy. And the Tigers are on the move yet again. In a game that, since the first kick, it just seems that the Tigers are the significantly better football team. Riverside a bit infuriated off of the loss to number 1 Fullerton, and they took out their frustrations. Yes, a game after the fact against San Bernardino Valley, but they did take out their frustrations tonight against Long Beach. Off the play action, Smart, the quarterback, scrambles right, gets a block of the 40, and takes a tumble to the 35-yard line in front of Houston. Genova on the stop as well. Smart took a bit of a hit there, and that might be a sighting, which encourages Tom Kraft to make some substitutions in a few minutes, because the Tigers, outside of a complete collapse, are on their way to a win. All right, the hold is against Kobe Bryant, number 57, with 3:18 left to go in the third quarter. 26-0 Tigers. Glad you're with us. Tigers football presented by the National Sports, Spreaker.com. We do have no score update, unfortunately, in the National Southern Conference matchup between number 9 Southwestern and number 1 Fullerton. Arguably the best football game on paper of the night. And team 2 great football teams. False start against Tyrone Marshall, number 15 of the Tigers. That'll back up Riverside 5. And now to a second down and 17. Moves over to a second down and 1st and 22. And that is not indicative of Riverside's first half efforts. And it is easy to understand why the Tigers would put their foot off the gas. They just simply ran over Long Beach in the first half, with 4 different players scoring rushing touchdowns. Beldye snap. Smart looks deep, throws a crossing route. It's caught in stride by Kennedy. Breaks the tackle to 40. Kennedy is loose and is down to the 19-yard line. Tripped up late by Genova. Tyler Kennedy on the 1st and 22. He makes a huge catch. That is a gain of 32 yards, or rather 42 yards for Tyler Kennedy, the redshirt freshman from Moreno Valley, California. He's averaging 20 yards a catch this year and increases on that total today. 2:34 to go third quarter. We have a penalty on the field. False start.
Offense number 57. 5-yard penalty. Remains first down.
Kobe Bryant again is the guilty party. Kobe Bryant with a C, not with a K-O-B-E. He's a pretty good player, too. Wide 2x2 again on a 1st and 15. Walker flanks the quarterback Smart. They'll feed him again, and Walker gains 3. So the big takeaway from tonight's game It's a 26-0 lead, but the Tigers, for the first time today, this year, have shown some stiffness and toughness on defense because they have been really hitting the mouth on that end of the ball. But the offense led by Stone Smart has been so good that they just outscore teams. But now, at least for one game tonight, the Tiger defense played their best football. It's 26-0 Riverside with under 2 to go in the third quarter. Tigers are in the red zone. Smart lobs it into the corner. Knocked away in the end zone by way of Genova. And also, number 1, Blake Jenkins. It was intended for Marshall in that right side of the end zone. And the score remains 26-0. Nick Bryson, Hand Tigers Football, the National Sports, Spreaker.com. Long Beach, meanwhile, their defense has struggled, but the offense took a real step back today. They averaged 43 points per game coming in, but have 0 so far tonight. A really disappointing performance. Shotgun snap. Here's Smart on a 3rd and 12. Takes off and runs. Stone Smart's got the angle, and with a flag down, he strolls into the end zone. Touchdown Tigers for the moment. Indications are that this is coming back. Antonio Mitchell the hold, and the Tigers will replay 3rd down. And it's from right around the same spots. Hard to stomach a run for Stone Smart. He scrambled in the end zone. That is taken away. They will move the ball up, so it wound up being a 7-yard pickup for Riverside. They face 3rd down and 7 from the 15 after the penalty against Antonio Mitchell. Riverside brings in a jumbo package. They have 3 tights, pistol formation. Smart takes the snap, fakes the stretch run to Wimbish. He releases. They'll throw towards Wimbish, who's wide open. Touchdown Tigers. And Smart has thrown his 9th touchdown of the year. It's his 14th total today, the 14th total to this point of the year. And the Tigers have got the commanding 32-0 lead with the PAT pending. They ran a bootleg right off the play action, and Wimbish, with the defense biting that side, was left open on a wheel route left side. And for the Tigers, they get back on the board in convincing fashion. Kettle holds for the PAT from Garibay, which is good. Riverside 33, Long Beach 0 with 1:28 to play in the third quarter. By the Vikings, 3 consecutive conference co-championships as a member of the National Central Conference. The Vikings do have, I guess with Riverside out of their conference, an easier schedule. They open at East Los Angeles College in a couple weeks, but I mean, for the Vikings, they've got number 7 Cerritos next. That is a chance for them to lose that game. They will, outside of a disaster, win this game, or rather lose this game tonight. So they could head into conference play 2-3, and guaranteed they have to win all 5 conference games in order to win, or rather make any sort of a chance to make the postseason. Because the SCFA takes all 3 conference champions out of the playoff-eligible conferences in the SCFA, and then 1 at-large bid. And almost never have the CFA taken a team with any more than 1 loss, especially not more than 2 losses in an at-large bid. The return from the 3-yard line for Simmons, he dances to the 20, and for the Long Beach Vikings is stacked up with the 25-yard line. Quick game update, 24-3 lead for Saddleback over Moore Park with 9:30 remaining in the first half. That game is on the road for Saddleback, so a very impressive win for number 20, the Saddleback Gauchos, who look to improve back to 2-2, and they certainly are off to a fine start tonight. Scores presented by Magnolia Heating and Cooling and also by Chick-fil-A. 1:20 to play third quarter. Glad you're with us. Tigers football on the National Sports, Spreaker.com. As the Vikings set up shop at their own 25-yard line, Murphy hands right away to Jones, who stretches right and is down for a loss. Ofaloa made the stop, along with Eric Wilson, a couple yards of the backfield.
Rafael Jones with the carry. Eric Wilson wrestles it out of bounds.
And now we've got 1 minute remaining in the third quarter. Long Beach would love to forget about this game because they've got almost the same caliber opponent next week against number 7 Cerritos on the road in Cerritos College. And it's a pretty big stadium as well, maybe even bigger than this one at Veterans Memorial. 2nd down and 12. Deep drop Murphy, rush from the corner, scrambles left, the southpaw gets rid of it. The pass is knocked away by Wilson and incomplete. A good deflection by way of the Fresno State transfer, Eric Wilson, the sophomore from Oceanside. He's got 2 deflections today, now 4 on the year. 33 seconds to play in the third quarter. Chaffee leads Pasadena City College 16-7 at halftime. Another score update. Next week, the RCCFootball.net live stream of the Tigers and the Olympians of number 22 San Diego Mesa. We will take a look at the Tigers who used to play at Riverside, who are now in Division I schools and in the National Football League. Bootleg left. Murphy looks down the field. He scrambles. He is in trouble. Runs out of bounds. Chucks it down the field. He did tightrope the boundary. And the pass is incomplete. 25 seconds to go, third quarter, and Riverside up 33-0, forces the punts. Vikings may not be able to score tonight. They average 43 points per game coming in, and if I'm going to be honest, I thought that they would put up a better fight on offense. But Riverside up by 5 scores will bring out their return team as defending special teamer player of the week in the SCFA, Tyler Kennedy, who had a 94-yard kickoff return touchdown. He is one of the dangerous return men. Taquante Showers of RCC is as well. But Carcamo will punt towards Kennedy, but Carcamo juggles the snap. It's loose inside the 5-yard lane. He shakes the tackle, punts it away. It will be very short. It's towards the sideline and may have not even reached the 20. Luckily, though, Carcamo saved what could have been a touchdown. Yes, they're going to spot the ball at the 20-yard line. A punt of 15 yards. And now with 14 seconds to go in the third quarter, the Tigers are in very good position to take a commanding lead. If they don't already have it, it's 33-0. They start off in the red zone. Glad you're with us. Tigers football on the National Sports, Spreaker.com, and a beatdown over the Vikings of Long Beach, even worse than the one they delivered last year in Wheelock Stadium. 14 seconds left to go in the third quarter with 3 receivers. Smart hands of the sweeping Fisher, and he is tackled at the 19 on the final play of the third quarter. Back in a moment, and I look to, at the start of the fourth quarter, provide a score update in the top 10 matchup in Southern California. Number 9 Southwestern and number 1 Fullerton. This is Tigers football on the National Sports, Spreaker.com. Sorry for the disappointment. We have no score update between Fullerton and Southwestern as we set to begin the fourth quarter. The 18 gut run to Fisher, and he squirts ahead for about 3 as he fights at the 15-yard line, setting up 3rd and 5. Looking across all media outlets, we just can't seem to find any opportunity to figure out who leads the Fullerton and Southwestern game. It is very important for the Tigers I'm sure they wouldn't mind one bit if Southwestern won out of their conference because the Tigers, they need that home field advantage, which they could receive if both teams went out after Fullerton could lose today. Low snap, Smart shoots it into the end zone. The pass is caught. Touchdown Tigers. Jamal Houston, the redshirt freshman from Harvey, Louisiana. He's got his second touchdown in 3 weeks. And Jamal Houston, who transferred from Colorado State, 3-star prospect with 29 Division I offers, reels it in, capping off a 3-play, 20-yard scoring drive. And the Tiger theme song is in full effect. Kick is good.
The point after attempt by John Carabay is good.
As I simultaneously tell you about what's going on today and also try and take a look at what's going on in the Fullerton Southwestern game, just disappointed because the media outlet for Fullerton and Southwestern both are not working, at least on my phone. So might be on me, might be on them, might be on both of us. But either way, this one works here, and Riverside leads 40-0 in the fourth quarter. Smart has thrown 2 touchdowns after the 4 TD runs in the first half for the Tigers. It strikes of 12 yards to Quincy Wimbish and of 15 to Jamal Houston. 40-0 Tigers. The kickoff from Garibay soars 3 yards deep. It's taken out. Simmons has been busy tonight at kickoff returning and is spun down at the 22 by Devin Falconer, the sophomore from Los Angeles. So at the moment, we do not have any score update from that contest in Fullerton and Southwestern, which is a downer, considering that was a game which could end up deciding playoff implications. We hope to get you a score before this broadcast concludes tonight, but important games out of the National Southern League includes a team that could give the Tigers some fits as Riverside hits the road to battle, plays the conference finale against number 20 Saddleback. The Gauchos lead 24-3 late first half on the road at Moore Park. Also a conference game from around this National Southern League. Earlier today, Golden West defeated Bakersfield, number 15 of the state, 13-11 at home. So that's a game which could drop Bakersfield in the standings slightly. Grossmont at San Diego Mesa, no score update in that contest as of right now, which is certainly a disappointing deal as well. And then the other team I've yet to talk about is Orange Coast. They host El Camino, but there is no score update in that game as well. And there is one here. Tigers lead 40-0 just about a minute in fourth quarter. After the run for no gain, Murphy drops on second down. With his running back releasing, he scrambles, cutting left across the 20, and ducks down to the 26. A scamper of 5 yards from Jonathan Murphy. As we see number 56, Micah Gray, checking the ball game, a freshman from Corona. But this is a display of backups by this point. Tigers football, the national sports, Spreaker.com. Riverside playing 5 ranked opponents this year. We see in a third down, Murphy passes over the middle, and it's incomplete. Riverside has 5 ranked opponents, and just somehow the schedule makers got it all right for the Tigers this year because RCC plays 4 of their 5 ranked opponents at home. And the only one they have on the road is tonight at number 13 Long Beach, which they will win. They lead the Vikings 40-0, 2 minutes in fourth quarter. So they've got a chance very easily to just at home take care of business and win their final 3 ranked home games. And then other than that, the other contest that they've had to close out the year is against Grossmont and also at Golden West, at Orange Coast, and that'll conclude the schedule. So the Tigers are in a good position right now to represent the National Southern Conference. They will be favored in every game, and the rest of the way they'll be favored in every game. And if RCC comes in 9-1, 5-0 in the conference, which just means beating the games in which you're favored to beat, they could enter the SCFA playoffs, most likely facing either Ventura in the first round, A pretty interesting deal about if number 9 Southwestern could get an at-large bid out of the National Central Conference. A new team to that list are the Falcons of number 7 Cerritos. They could potentially earn a wild card spot. If Mount San Antonio can turn it around, they could potentially get into that conversation. But Mount Sac is tied at 10 in their ball game and also lost earlier this year, 13-0 to Cerritos. Riverside taking over at the Long Beach 45-yard line. They had a 1-yard gain that play. Inside for Quincy Wimbish. I'm only puzzled as to why they're still playing some starters or key rotational pieces, as Quincy Wimbish is. 40-0 Tigers with just over 12 and a half minutes to go in the game. So Riverside, make sure to catch the broadcast as the Tigers will host the Olympians of number 22 San Diego Mesa next Saturday. Live stream on rccfootball.net as the Tigers will battle the Olympians. Kickoff at 6 p.m. The Magnolia Heating and Cooling pregame report is at 5:50. Wimbish breaks it out right, 35-30. He's across the line, 25, stays in bounds, spins, and motors ahead to the 14-yard line. What a run from Quincy Wimbish. It's a gain of 28 yards, and the Tigers are back in the red zone. Josh Owen, the quarterback, a redshirt freshman from Waco, Texas, checks in the ball game. 2 years ago at Midway High School, he was a struggling QB. 50% completions, 3 touchdowns, 7 interceptions that year. But after working on his game, the redshirt freshman is now notching the fourth quarter snaps for RCC. First down from the 14 of Long Beach as the Tigers lead 40-0, 3 minutes in fourth quarter. Inside run, Wimbish cuts it out right and is tripped up by Allman off the gain of 2. As for those Olympians, San Diego Mesa, which the Tigers will play next week, they are 10th in the state, averaging just 16 points per game allowed. So that defense is very, very good. And the Olympians have won 2 straight coming into tonight, including a stunning 27-21 win against Golden West in week 2. And San Diego Mesa, to my knowledge, is tied at 10 against Mount San Antonio. Now, the Mounties are playing East Los Angeles. Mount Sac leads 17-10 late first half. But the critical game for San Diego Mesa, it's a home contest against Grossmont, has no score updates. Under pressure is Owen, and the quarterback is sacked back at the 20-yard line. The Vikings have as many sacks in this game with 4 that they had all of the first 3 weeks combined, which wound up being the worst pass rush unit in the National Northern Conference, the Long Beach Vikings. So at least one of the silver linings for that defense in what has been a sluggish performance for them, they at least got the pass rush going for 1 week against a good offensive line in Riverside City College. Somewhat good. Stone Smart has been pressured a couple times, 12 sacks allowed in 3 games, but only once last week. Third down from the 19-yard line. Tigers bring in 3 wide with Josh Owen taking the snap, handing to Walker. He breaks free to the 10, cuts left to the 7, 6-5, slipping through, and Malik Walker is in. Touchdown Tigers, a 19-yard burst, and the sophomore from Corona gives RCC the fourth quarter score.
Malik Walker with the carry and a touchdown for the Tigers.
And it's his 5th rushing touchdown of the season with the one he already punched in earlier. And with 10:04 to go in the game, RCC leads 46-0. Here comes the extra point group as Garibay has found his PAT kicking down the stretch of this second half. Kettle puts it down off good placement. Garibay's kick splits the uprights. 10:04 to go in the ball game. RCC 47, Long Beach 0. Ironically, they have beat down number 13 Long Beach more than they did unranked San Bernardino Valley last week, as the Tigers have shut out the Vikings so far. Long Beach averaging 43 points per game coming into tonight, and that offense has self-destructed. Well, they were unstoppable against LA Valley as well a week ago. 36 first downs, 492 total yards, and 7 touchdowns in that ball game. And the Viking QB, Drake Peabody, was equally as effective. But they just, tonight, they had plenty of yards, but they kept stalling inside the 35-yard line. And I think what twisted the game, it was 26-0 late in the half. Vikings drove inside the RCC 10, But then Peabody on a quarterback scramble fumbled the ball going down, recovered by RCC's Jaden Brown, and the Tigers went into the half leading 26-0 instead of what could have been 26-7. As we see the kickoff return from Simmons, he takes it from 5 yards deep and gets a good seam. Simmons has got the kicker to beat. He did beat him, but Garibay slowed down the return man Simmons, who runs it back to the 50. A 55-yard return with Nicholas Whitney saving the touchdown for the Tigers. And with 9:55 to go in the ball game, Long Beach yet again has great field position. They have started at the 50 or in Tigers territory on 4 or 5 different occasions tonight. But ironically, a very good red zone team just can't seem to get anything going in Tiger territory tonight. RCC 47, Long Beach 0. Backup quarterback Jonathan Murphy scrambles left. A designed run. The quarterback bounces outside and is run out. Escorted by Chad Black, the freshman from Miramar, Florida. And with a flag down, that tackle off the 4-yard gain may be negated. The Vikings' early indications that this is a penalty on Long Beach on a hold. Our official for tonight's game is David Bautista. Talked with us a bit before the game, and he is a pretty well-mannered guy.
Offense, number 12. 10-yard penalty.
Tariq Culpepper, freshman from Los Angeles. No relation to Dante Culpepper, who's from the California area and wound up playing with the Oakland Raiders. Tariq Culpepper making his first catch of the year earlier tonight, but in a losing effort for the Vikings. Nick Rice on hand, Tigers football, the nationalsportsbreaker.com. They've got a good one to the Tigers next week as they play a stiff defense. RCC up against Long Beach's defense, last in the league in points per game allowed, almost 30 a game. And tonight, RCC took advantage. Murphy fires over the middle and shoots it long, intended for the crossing Kylan Brokenbaugh, freshman from Adelanto, California. Sets up second and 15. Head coach Brett Peabody of Long Beach City College. Yes, he has turned this program around, going from 4-6 to at least 8 wins in every year over the last 4. And 3 consecutive co-championships of the conference. But he has sent 83 players to 4-year schools and 39 to Division I's since taking over. Toss right. Sweeping to the edge. Here is number 5, Mason Bowen. Only his 3rd carry of the season. Freshman from Gardena, California.
Mason Bowen with the carry, forced out of bounds by Jalen Bowen.
Quick technical issue. Glad you're back. Bowen gained a couple to set up 3rd and 10 for Long Beach. Culpepper joins Cedric Hood to the right of a wide 2x2. As they've got Bates and also Brokenbaugh to the left. On 3rd and 10 with mainly backups in the ball game. Chest high snap to Murphy on a rush of 4. He's pressured, and Murphy gets out of it, swings it left. He finds an open Bowen, who is then drilled at the 45-yard line. Terry Victor, the transfer from Washington State, makes the tackle in the backfield. Outstanding effort, rather near the backfield. Outstanding effort for Terry Victor. And a display of backups. He is...
Offense number 58. Penalty is declined. 4th down.
Yeah, they'll decline that. But so the Vikings go 3 and out despite starting the drive at the 50. Terry Victor, so far today, he has been involved in a couple defensive plays. He is earning some snaps. He didn't play much at all the first 3 games of the year, but now in a blowout, he gets a chance and is making the most of it. And one of those stories that I can think of so fondly was that one of my favorite NFL players, didn't play for my favorite team, but Shannon Sharp, who was a tight end for the Baltimore Ravens and the Denver Broncos, was a 7th-round draft pick. As this punt is taken inside the 15-yard line by Showers, he returns over to the 13. But Shannon Sharp, who is notable in the National Football League, he was a 7th-round pick, played on special teams late in 4th quarters of preseason games, made one huge hit on special teams kickoff coverage, and it wound up helping him win the job. It's similar to the story of Terrell Davis, who is a Denver Bronco great at running back, late-round draft pick. Shannon Sharp played just well enough, special teams and also on offense late in preseason games. And here we have a guy like Terry Victor who might end up becoming a great linebacker, a 3-star coming out of high school in Los Angeles. And with this linebacking core is loaded. I mean, they've got all sophomores, second and third year players on the team. But if they continue to see Terry Victor improve, maybe he might be a guy that emerges late in the year. As we see dancing over left guard for the Tigers is the running back who surges ahead to the 29-yard line. A gain of 10 for a fresh face in the ball game. I wasn't paying much attention. Joseph Griffin, freshman from Oak Hills, he's got 7 carries this year and about 10 yards a rush. So he's another guy playing well with his limited snaps. 8:12 left to go in the ball game. Riverside on their way to a win, leads 47-0 over Long Beach City College. And this game has taken about 2.5 hours, about the quickest 2.5-hour feeling I've ever had covering RCC football, because this has been incredibly good to watch as a Tigers fan and a broadcaster. Fresh set of downs, RCC at their own 25-yard line. Josh Owen hands to Joseph Griffin, who reverses field and is stripped up with a 33-yard line in a game that feels like the second half of NFL preseason football.
Number 68 of the offense is off for a helmet.
Yes, the Tigers are sending out Ryan Rowe. Very beefy offensive line for Riverside, paving the way for a group that's averaging 504 yards per game. I mean, that's just ridiculous. I mean, there's no other way to put it. That's just ridiculous how the Tigers have been able to play so well against number 1 Fullerton, El Camino, which is a very good club, San Bernardino Valley, where they scored 77 last week, and here they're up 47-0 over Long Beach. In that game against San Bernardino Valley, the Tiger offense racked up 31 first downs, 554 total yards, and 9 touchdowns. And they also shut down the San Bernardino Valley run game. They did give up some huge plays in the passing game, but boy, this Tigers offense is lethal. They may score again. And this would be, in recent memory, one of the first shutouts they've ever had. As RCC faces a 3rd and shorts, Josh Owen is the quarterback. And from Waco, Texas, the QB keeps scrambling left to the 30. He gets some good snaps here as he runs to the 37 with a flag down. That'll move the chains for a moment on 3rd and 7.
Flag down on the play.
Quick little tactical issue. We're getting some holding us against the Tigers, number 40, Kane Villemue. That'll back up Riverside. Head coach of Riverside, Tom Kraft. His overall record with the team, he is 79-14. Winners of 85% of his games. He took over a 1-9 football team to the most wins through a 8-year stretch in school history. 8 conference crowns and 4 SCFA championship game appearances. And the Tigers look poised to return to the big dance again. Low snap, Owen will run again, but he most likely won't get the first down. Indeed, he won't. It's a run of 4, and the Tigers stall on 3rd down. 6 minutes to play in the ball game. 47-0 in favor of Riverside. As for Long Beach, they lost to these Tigers 51-14 in Wheelock Stadium last year. And the revenge coming in, they knew they had to play good to beat this team, but they didn't want to get embarrassed again. This game is even worse in their own building, 47-0, as Long Beach came in ranked, but may not come out of the ball game ranked. As this punt takes a favorable Tiger roll down to the 16-yard line. Long Beach beat LA Valley by 30 points last week and dropped 3 spots in the rankings. So the committee knows that Long Beach isn't quite as good as their record is. It shows the type of esteem they have, but now the Vikings lose by this margin, and now the rankings just go all up in smoke because Long Beach wasn't supposed to lose like this. Even though they're ranked a little lower than Riverside, this just puts a complete tailspin in the Triple C AA rankings. San Diego Mesa, if they perform well against Grossmont, will be a ranked club coming into tonight. A quick flip right flat over to Kaylin Simmons, and the freshman from Los Angeles motors to the 23-yard line for a pickup of 7 yards of the catch and run with 5:15 left to go in the ball game. 47-0 is the lead in favor of Riverside City College. They paid the visit from just over an hour east here to Long Beach in beautiful Southern California. Great conditions, great weather, great atmosphere for tonight's game, and a crowd of over 1,000. 4 receivers in the set. They'll flip it left side. Leaping catch from Simmons again, and he motors up ahead, surging to the 33-yard line. Simmons did lose the football late, recovered by Long Beach over at the 35. Tigers football. Who got that? Ahone White, the redshirt sophomore from Aurora, Colorado. The officials, most plays would whistle that dead at the 33, but he continued to move the pile, and that was a cardinal sin for the ball carrier as he lost it. And Long Beach may have squandered their final opportunity to score in this game. Hard to believe that coming in, Long Beach, certainly no shame in the enthusiasm coming into this contest, because they knew that Riverside City College, even though they're the number 4 team in the state of California, they have some struggles and some weaknesses, especially on defense. But the Tigers dismantle Long Beach tonight. RCC at the 35-yard line go with an inside run. Spinning over left guard is number 22, Jamon McGlory, the freshman from Riverside. In fact, it's McGlory's first carry as a Tiger. Senior year at Arlington High School, 314 carries, 2,125 yards, and 26 touchdowns. Translation, video game numbers for Jamon McGlory. But, you know, Jamon McGlory could be just like any other running back and choose a school where he's going to get more playing time. But he chose the Tigers because it's a great organization. It's going to put you in the best position to transfer to 4-year schools, the Division I programs. And for Jamon McGlory, he knew that ultimately he would get the best coaching to be the best player, the best man he can possibly be. That's the story with a lot of these guys, because the Tigers are such a sensational organization. Here's a Joseph Griffin run, and he squirts over left guard, a pickup of 1 yard that time. But, you know, that just is a testament to the character and the personality of some of these players, knowing that they're not going to get the recognition or the playing time or the opportunities at other schools. But what they will get is the best chance to go to a 4-year, the best chance to get a full ride and perform throughout, and the best chance to be the best player they can possibly be. So kudos to a guy like Jamon McGlory, who sits 5th or 6th on the depth charts. Run to Griffin, sweeps left, and he's going to get hit in the backfield. And down he goes as Cross Poyer records the tackle. Down the stretch of this fourth quarter here. 4th and 5. 3 minutes left to go here in the ball game. Tigers attempting to go for it here on 4th down. Riverside 47, Long Beach 0. Here we go. 4th and a long 4 at the Long Beach 29. They hope to not give the ball back to the Vikings. Off a juggled snap, Owen is going to get sacked. Down he goes with a sack from Pierre Hayes, freshman from Los Angeles, his first sack of his career. So the Tigers, ironically, they do a lot of things very well, but they give up 5 sacks tonight. Long Beach had 4 in the first 3 weeks of the year. So this was a performance by this offensive line that they're going to have to get fixed up for next week. Secondary played way, way better tonight than a week ago, but the offensive line took a huge step back. Ironically, they still put up 47. That shows you just how good this football team is. One unit struggles, another unit can pick it up quickly. Long Beach, their last-ditch effort to score. They trail 47-0 with 2:37 to go in the game. High snap. Murphy juggles it, retreats to the 10. Victor on the pressure. He gets rid of it, and the pass is long, intended for Hood. But that avoids a huge, huge loss by way of Long Beach. That could have been a 25-yard loss. No kidding. Murphy, the snap was at the 32. He juggled it and finally corralled it back at the 10.
intended receiver, Nicholas Whitney in coverage for the Tigers.
Now 2:29 to go in the ball game. Let's see if Riverside could shut out Long Beach. One last chance for the Tigers defense. High snap. Murphy feeds inside. And over the right tackle, it's another run for number 24, Angel Favela, freshman from La Mirada, California. Vikings averaging 43 points per game. Shutout tonight. They did get about the yardage total that they averaged this year, but they consistently fell down in plus territory. Murphy ties his shoe. Quarterback with Favela next to him, lines up with the shotgun on 3rd down and 5. At their own 36-yard line, early movement up front. Tigers jumped early. That was Micah Gray, freshman from Corona. That may be a first down with 1:50 to go in the fourth quarter.
Offside. Defense number 56 with contact. 5-yard penalty. Remains 3rd down.
Remains 3rd down. The ball's sitting inches away. No, it's a first down. We're still in non-conference mode. All of us are. Broadcasters, media members alike, and referees. 4 receivers as the Vikings have refreshed the chains of the 41-yard line. False starts. Go figure. Boy, it would have been nice if it was 3rd and inches, as David Bautista alluded to a moment ago.
False start. Offense number 67. 5-yard penalty. Remains 1st down.
1:43 left to go in the ball game. Riverside leads 47-0. High snap. Murphy play action, looks deep, rolls left, pressured by Gray, chucks it over the middle, it's short. Incomplete, intended for Devin Rouse. We do not have a Southwestern versus Fullerton game update, but let's take a look around the FBS top 25. LSU, number 6 LSU, dismantles Louisiana Tech, winning 38-21. Alabama over Texas A&M in a top 25 matchup, 45-23. And Kentucky stuns Mississippi State 28-7. That's out of the SEC. Number 4 Ohio State knocks off Tulane 49-6. Michigan State on their way to a win against Indiana 28-10. Number 9 Auburn 24-3 over Arkansas. Michigan takes care of business as they win again, their 3rd straight off the season opening loss to Notre Dame, as they destroy Nebraska 56-10. The Cornhuskers looked very inept to start the year under first-year head coach Scott Frost. Number 3 Clemson maintains their spot as one of the country's best teams, 49-21 over Georgia Tech. Texas with a stunning win over TCU. They lost the opener and have won 3 straight, and now are one of the best teams of the country, most likely ranked. All right, Texas, it just makes me laugh. They lose to Maryland in the opener, and now they look like one of the best teams in America, the Longhorns do, as they beat USC last week, and here they are with a win. In overtime, Oklahoma outlasts Army at home in Norman, 28-21. BYU, a ranked team for the first time this year, beats McNeese State 30-3. Virginia Tech gives up a first quarter lead and loses to Old Dominion of Norfolk 49-35. Number 12 West Virginia over Kansas State 35-6. Notre Dame over Wake Forest 56-27 on the road. Boston College, a top 25 team, maybe no more, as they get dismantled by Purdue 30-13. Number 2 Georgia may remain number 2 as they defeat the Tigers of Missouri 43-29. And last but not least, in a mouthful, number 21 Miami defeats Florida International, but a game that was very close, closer than they would like, 31-17. That was your top 25 updates. Unfortunately, no Fullerton and Southwestern update at the moment, but Riverside, 9 seconds left, 7-6-5. Vikings are at the 38-yard line. This may be the final play of the game. Barring a penalty, this should be it. Murphy takes the snap, pumps. He's going to take a shot into the end zone. The pass is incomplete. Past the reach of Bates, and the game is over. Riverside notches the shutouts as the Tigers dismantle Long Beach. They beat them again in convincing fashion. The final score, the Riverside Tigers 47, the Long Beach Vikings 0. Boy, this was an incredible performance all around from head coach Tom Kraft and his Tigers. They came in as one of the favorites to represent the SCFA in the postseason. And not only did they take full advantage of the struggling Vikings, well, this team may have just hopped up the rankings with a performance like this today, 47-0. And as we're about ready to sign off, let's take a look at some of the scores across the SCFA. As we should be at about halftime in a lot of the different games that kicked off at 6 p.m. Ventura at the half leads Palomar at home 21-10. That is important because Ventura is looking to defend their number 3 spot in the state of California. Cerritos, they come in ranked number 7 in the state. Long Beach will visit the Cerritos Falcons next week. They trailed Canyons 14-3. Canyons is ranked 1 spot ahead of them at number 6, but boy, Cerritos, they would look for a bounce-back effort against Long Beach if they can't win that game. Orange Coast El Camino, no score there. Mount San Antonio at the half leads East Los Angeles 17-10. Saddleback over Moore Park 24-3. That score remains. San Bernardino bounced back off the loss to the Tigers. They lead 35-0 at home against LA Southwest. At the half, a quick score 8-8 before we conclude. I finally got it. At the half, between Fullerton and Southwestern, the two teams are tied at 7. That should be a game that determines where Fullerton lands in the rankings by the time that this week is over. From Chula Vista, that game is tied at 7. And we will be very much anticipating the result of that game, which may end up determining who represents the SCFA as the number 1 seed, and if those two teams make it to the SCFA playoffs. So much football left to be determined, but the Tigers with the win improved to 3-1. Long Beach is down to 2-2 and have their playoff hopes in jeopardy with a Week 5 trip to the Cerritos Falcons looming 1 week from tonight. The Tigers 47, the Vikings nothing. That will conclude our coverage of RCC football on the National Sports Spreaker.com. Reminder, we're switching over to RCCfootball.net when the Tiger live stream has their second edition when they host the Olympians of San Diego Mesa. Does Riverside in a top 25 matchup next week. Until then, good night here from Veterans Memorial Stadium in Long Beach, California.